Tudo spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, tudo spoon. Tudo spoon. If you eat kebab, crunchy like my brother, tudo spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tudo spoon. Tudo spoon. Papa, Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon Entertainment.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
To get your information. To the spoon, to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to the spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to the spoon. You want to get the news update, my brother, to the spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to the spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to the spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to the spoon. To the spoon. To the spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to the spoon. To the spoon. If you eat kebab, crunchy like my brother, to the spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to the spoon. To the spoon. Papa, Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? This one you got today. Spoon TV. This one you got today. Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon Entertainment. Yes, information. To get your information. To the spoon, to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother, to spoon. You got a Sport TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kiribaba, 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 kiribaba. What I want? This one you got today. Sport TV. This one you got today. Spoon to get your information. Spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio.
Okay, folks, I tell you what a way to welcome you to another edition of the program tonight, Spoon Talk. We're live on Spoon 107.5 FM, Fabric 101.1 FM, Super 95.5 FM, and Spoon Talk is live online. Spoon TV live, Fabric TV live. We're also live on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. I want to say welcome to you tonight. This is, of course, where you get authentic information about Liberia, all of the major happenings. You get to interact with the newsmakers right here. My name is Nelson Colette. Tonight, of course, yes, I see Minister Fagon is already here. Let me just bring Minister Fagon on. Let me say good evening to you, Minister Fagon.
Good evening, Nelson Colette, and how are you tonight?
Yes, I'm doing good, and good to see you.
Good to see you too. Spoofing your Lacoste polo T-shirt. You know, you guys are playing around with us with fashion, but that's okay. You know, but we just want you guys to know that we've been there, done that.
Yeah, we're learning from the minister. We're learning from.
Y'all will never catch us, man. Rebel spoil your days. I mean, our days we have soft leather shoes. We used to fold the shoes and put it in the back of our pocket.
Wow.
Oh yes, complete leather. But these days, I mean, I know fashion, yeah, but number one, no money. Number two, all kind of fuma funtine happening.
Yeah.
You know, we used to go walking on the beaches, Bean Avenue, go to Sophie Ice Cream Shop, go to Bunjal, go places and chill. Today, 6 o'clock, you're going inside the chicken. All you're doing is also iron badge in a jail cell.
Seriously, everybody.
When I say you're, I'm not distancing, I'm just saying your generation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the context I'm speaking in.
That's something that is taking over now. I mean, almost all of the homes, if it's a guaranteed home, then you should have an iron gate. That's the new thing that
the war in Rwanda was worse than our war. But think about it. They don't even worry about doors and windows. It's because the tune and pace you set for your country, that's what's going to happen. You ever to just wake up soon in the morning and go kill somebody, armed robbery in Rwanda? You will not even last a minute. You can't go rape a 10-year-old girl and be talking tabata. The man set his country in a way that everyone follows the rules and the laws. Here we are today. We got one man. He lied to us. He said he paid all the money, only 400,000 with me. Boom, yesterday, he paid 5 cents. Mind you, now the road fund is different from tax evasion. But 4 days ago, go on his page. He showed the horse he built in Saclay. He showed the pickers then he buying for acre. That's where behind us. Do we need Kagame or Rawlings or Mongafuli? Look at the kind of thing. But don't worry, the guest houses for government will be plenty. So I'm just saying your generation. Our generation did not do good for your generation. And the generation before us destroy our generation enjoyment.
Yeah.
And so we got that gap, my brother.
Definitely. And that's just what came to my mind when you started pointing out the issues, and then my mind ran to despite the fact that this current generation has a lot of issues, we didn't get to see a lot, but part of the problem started from your generation.
No, it's true.
It was during your generation that most of the issues started, and
you're looking at us. You know that we messed up, and you stay running behind us. You still standing in group. Oh, say. Your friends there in Kigali, in Lusaka, in Maputo. Your friends there in Zimbabwe, Lesotho, in somewhere in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Those boys are going to school, at the same time working, you can see the tie. You're still wearing berets with camp bag on your back. You guys still have not caught up. You're still allowing yourselves to be used. You're still fighting amongst yourselves, sharing blood. You're still backing for a man who stole $5 million for you. You're still talking for a mayor, M-E-R-E, a mayor chief of protocol, replacing Nathaniel McGill and running the government. And you say she's now the rescue mother. You're still making serious mistakes in your generation. Right now, your consumption of alcohol among your generation
is high.
But you know, you're not coming in our group again. You're not even coming around us. Today, everybody letting we all around the place. Knowing that is devastating.
I think your generation is still influencing this generation, despite the problems that were created by the very generation that is affecting this generation today.
And give me the number one reason why. Just the number one reason in your mind. No answer is wrong.
I think education, the lack of adequate education, is one of those things that's the major. In fact, it's a major contributor to this.
It's the number one reason. You know why? Because we created a gap where you did not go to school because we were fighting.
Mhm.
You see, we were brutally fighting. As a result, you did not learn. When we stopped the fighting, we did not cater to you. Instead, we brought drugs in to feed you. We brought alcohol in to feed you. Those are criminal stimulants. You drink, like Brempo said, you drink, you want to eat something. You smoke, you want to eat something. So we increase the population, thereby increasing poverty. Poverty bringing untold suffering. Untold suffering reduce you all to what? Mere beggars. Then you came back to the destroyers. And then the destroyers are now using you again. Open your eyes. But that's why we cater to you guys, our little brother here at Spoon. What you got for me today? What's up?
Yeah, so many things happening in the country today. Today seems like a Monday to me, because usually Monday is that day that is full of a lot of happenings, but today happens to be Tuesday. But interestingly, so many happenings in the country today. I will just go through a few of them here. So today, three top officials of government, the Supreme Court, let's say the Chief Justice, Siane Yo, found three top officials of government, 500 United States dollars each to be paid in government revenue within a period of 72 hours. Why? Those individuals were fined by the Chief Justice today due to their failure to appear before the Supreme Court. Why did the court summon them? Those three individuals, according to the Chief Justice, released a joint statement following this 100 million drug situation, which, according to the Chief Justice, brought the judiciary to public ridicule. And so, because of that, they were summoned. They were to appear today. The Chief Justice and the Information Minister, Councillor Nanti Tuan, who happens to be the Solicitor General, went today, but then he said the two officials are out of the country. So for not appearing, they were fined 500 United States dollars each to be paid in 72 hours, within a period of 3 days. So that's one of the happenings. And today, this issue with the St. John River is something that has claimed some attention on the plenary of the Liberian Senate today. At the plenary, it was being discussed when the lawmakers, two of the lawmakers from Grand Bassa County raised some serious concerns. According to them, the St. John River Bridge is at the point of collapse. Let me put it that way. And what is happening is that heavy duty vehicles are not plying that corridor. They're not going into Grand Bassa County, and because of that, it's heavily affecting the prices of basic commodities in Grand Bassa County. The prices of commodities like rice, which is the country's staple food, fuel, and other items have skyrocketed because of this St. John River situation. But I was just checking. This is not the first time. In 2021, there was similar situation with the St. John River Bridge. In 2021, that bridge, according to information, was constructed in the 60s, in the 1960s. So it's been over 40 years, talking about 40, 50 years since that bridge was constructed. So in 2021, there was a similar situation when some problem. There were some cracks on the bridge. Now there was an intervention carried on by a local company operating there. They carried on some quick impact project just to have it up. But again, the situation has resurfaced. So some individuals are suggesting that maybe find a permanent solution there will be a need to maybe construct a whole new bridge to connect that part of the country. And then aside from the St. John River Bridge, there was recently a wedding in the country that caught the attention of a lot of people, of a Fulani gentleman who got married to a 12-year-old girl. And following the situation, it sparked some concerns. There was a little bit of tension. Information we're getting is that the individual is not even in the country right now. He's gone to Guinea. But today, a civil society group, He for She Crusaders, raised some concerns with respect to what happened, and they termed it as a blatant violation of the rights of children in the country to have someone of that age getting married, 12 years old getting married to a 57-year-old man. And so they're calling on the government to review the laws of the country, come up with a tougher punishment, something that will find some sort of solution to these kinds of situations in the country. And so that's another one. There's a lot of other issues happening. Senator DeLong today, the Montserrat County Senator, raised concerns over the operation of Western Cluster mining situation. And according to the senator, the company is trucking the iron ore from bombing without the environmental analysis report. And that is something which he thinks is against or goes contrary to the MDA and all of that. So he raised some serious concerns, and there were some reactions as well from other senators, especially from Senator Snow and Simeon Taylor of Bomi County and so forth. So those are just a few of the many happenings. Now, just quickly before I go, the Senate Pro Tempore Albert Chir today spoke to this information about he purchasing vehicle for the Unity Party. He said it is unfounded. He did not at any point in time, intentionally or unintentionally, directly or indirectly, purchase any vehicle for the Unity Party. Yes, so those are just a few of the happenings that I'd like to go through.
Let's add some spice to the conversation until our colleagues can join us, and add some sense of humor to the conversation. He did not intentionally or unintentionally, or what was the other one again?
Directly or indirectly.
Directly or indirectly contribute. So can we say he spiritually contributed, or would it be appropriate to say he did not directly or indirectly, but he what? Telepathy. Because there's so you don't have to directly or indirectly, but you see, you can spiritually. That means you pray for it and you're happy. So maybe we should add that one there. But I'm really concerned, and I mean really concerned, with the Supreme Court ruling. Not ruling, but the contempt.
Yeah.
And I am hoping that I can get the guy, because read Article 2. The last sentence, it said the Supreme Court, pursuant to its power constitution, is very clear as to the power the Supreme Court wields. And the Constitution is explicitly clear when it says that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Final. But pursuant of government, which is the judiciary. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
If it is under a branch of government, and the Constitution in Article 3 expressly states that, quote, Liberia is a unitary sovereign state divided into counties for administrative purposes. The form of government is republican with 3 separate coordinate branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Consistent with the principles of separation of powers and checks and balances, no person holding office in one of these branches shall hold office in or exercise any of the powers assigned to either of the other 2 branches, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution. And no person holding office in one of the said branches shall serve on any autonomous public agency. But I'm specifically drawn to the fact that the executive is a separate branch of government.
Yep.
The judiciary is a separate branch of government. And they say consistent with the what? Separation of what? Powers, right?
Power. Yeah.
You now have nothing to do with judicial review. You can criticize your friend can criticize you. You people are separate and you are supposed to coordinate. So it's the Supreme Court suggesting that if they take a decision and then the executive is not happy, they should sit down and keep their mouth shut. I thought this is supposed to be democracy. So who carried the case to the Supreme Court? So in this case, the Supreme Court became the what? The judge, the juror, and the executioner. Is that democracy? Oh, so you can do something here. I can't criticize you. I can't say you're not right. Let's leave that topic for another day.
So I spoke with our judicial reporter, and I made some outreach today, and what I gathered is that what was expected of the individuals, like the likes of Councillor Nyanti Tuan, who happens to be the Solicitor General, and the Justice Minister, who is a part of this government, who is also a member of the
Attorney
bar.
General.
Yeah, the Attorney General. Yeah, he works in the government and a member of the bar. In the case where there's any disagreement, dissatisfaction, or whatever, the expectation is that those individuals should have expressed their grievances or their dissatisfaction, or handle the issues behind closed doors, maybe with the government, handle it with the bar, have the discussions in-house, but not coming in publicly to maybe condemn what happened at the court. So the action was basically based on the issue of bringing the judiciary to public ridicule. So in the mind of the Chief Justice, they saw it as something that could have been handled behind closed doors, in-house, rather than having a situation where some of the very insiders would be discussing situation that could be handled indoors, outside in the public.
The same thing Samuel Twice said yesterday. Bagu, you know they want Bagu. So you, why it's true, you're making a very salient point that is not of your making, it's them. Why should those people go in the back to confer with them? We already saw that we said the government blundered. So the government came to clear its out too, right?
Yeah.
And I think the judiciary, like, what's his name again? Oh my God. He went to radio stations and he clarified how the government blundered. And I think that should have been the process. But the Supreme Court should not punish people because they say, hey, we don't understand how it happened. Something must have happened. There are three separate branches of government. I criticize you, you criticize me. And I will ask you this question before I welcome my guests. What you make of the fact that the guy went into OKFM and criticized the Attorney General for not even going there one day, and that the Liberian legal team blundered? He's the judicial spokesperson. He messed with them on OKFM. I think you see Gibson Jeru shaking his head. And so they too mess with them. And then you become the judge, the juror, the executioner, most of the arresting officer. That's okay. Let's welcome the former CEO, Stanton A. Witherspoon, along with my friend, Councillor Lami Kpagoy, and my good brother, Gibson Jeru, from Gonglo Global Media. And Nelson, you're not running off on us today. I should have said Councillor Lami Kpagoy, a chief supporter of Tiawon Gonglo. An ardent supporter would be appropriate. Gentlemen, you are all welcome. We were only warming up. And to welcome you further, I will, somebody coming in. Ambrose Ma. The guy name is Ambrose Ma.
Who is he?
He's the judicial spokesperson.
Okay, yeah.
We're getting that feedback. Gibson, can you mute yourself? Let's see.
Councillor Ambrose Ma. Councillor Ambrose Ma.
Okay, now it's clear. Either there's an echo coming from your device or somewhere else. But
probably
anyways,
it's from me.
So
why do you always come here looking for trouble?
So it's Councillor Ambrose Ma. He's the spokesperson for the judiciary.
Yes. And so, you know, I wanted to start with you, but if you step again, I will make you last. Anyways, Liberians, we got a nice panel here today. We will go to Stanton A. Witherspoon for your opening thoughts on anything. I mean, absolutely anything. So if you want to talk about Lami's girlfriend, you go ahead and talk.
I remember step back. Hey,
you got 2 minutes.
My 2 minutes, listen, I don't know this other gentleman, Gibson Jeru, coming in with the Gonglo Global Media. No, I saw Gibson yesterday. You know, Lami came on by way of slow way. Now he bringing all his people on. You know, this is exactly why we always nepotism. He came in by way of slow way. Now he bringing Gibson. He gonna bring everybody. Then he gonna bring Tiawon Gonglo himself to be a
no.
Guest,
He bringing one guy that called Klebo.
Who, you know, Lami, we gave you pass for one person. Pass for one person, Lami. Councillor, don't do this to us, please.
So
only one person we gave you pass. Hey man, you not drag Gibson in this thing as if to say we all are family. We're not family, man. But don't do this, man.
Now your opening, you got 30 seconds.
No, that's my opening. Asking the poor question, man. The man that come to hijack the show. Y'all be sleeping. Tiawon Gonglo will take the show.
We have no intention of hijacking anything. We just want to contribute to the conversation to make it more encouraging for the people out there. It's just all. We have no intention of hijacking.
For the Gonglo people.
Yeah, but
like yesterday, I was making my contribution based on my position as editor, and not merely as as Gonglo supporter. So, I mean...
No. I watched the show yesterday. Everything you said, I watched the show yesterday. Everything you said Gonglo is a man. Now you turn into be that Dr. Richard say, yo, vote for Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is a clean hair. What happened with Musa Belete today? Me, but the only thing I can't put on the show. When you're feeling with the thing, I would go. Well, Lord, let me bring in Fadiga. Fadiga said you were off today when you heard about Musa Belete, he coming on. More are you gonna come on? Daniel Sanu, listen, guys. Listen. I beg you. Hey, Councilor. I beg you. You leave Musa alone, small bad.
No.
Thank you, everybody tonight, man.
But
I'm gonna appeal.
He said has something out there. There's a video making it runs for him.
My man, we can't do that. But let me use
my
my
2 minutes wisely. Unless you moderate.
No. I can't moderate.
But if I'm moderating, then Musa Nina, the topic for the night.
But listen. I beg you, Fadika. Eba, who don't politics up again, man? I beg ya, Eba. You're gonna bring no. Take this thing down. Why you're doing this? Listen, Musa is a dear friend of mine. He may not want me to say it.
Look at Mo Ali, they're sprinting to the finish line.
I heard that Daniel Sano coming on too. What's the celebration is about? Everybody talking about Musa Belete that they shut down his company. What's going on over here? They shut down Musa Belete company. They shut down and folks. Share the show. Let's have fun. All right? To already him and to forgive is divine. Let's have fun tonight. Nothing personal. No my cause, no pie cause. Let's be respectful. We have the children watching, our mothers, our fathers, they are watching, grandparents watching, both in Liberia and outside of Liberia. Let's just have fun and discuss the issue. What happened today is surprising. When I received the information that it was shutting down Musa Belete's ceramic company, the oil tank farm at LPRC, because of tax evasion since 2018.
Oh.
Since 2018. Imagine. We talk about better government. We talk about productivity in the country. Since 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 years. It's not me saying it. No. Yeah, I know everybody that witchcraft. But let's talk about the issue today. Fadiga, I got 10 seconds left. 5 years. 5 good years. Musa Hassan Belete, my dear friend and brother, refused to pay government taxes. We are not talking about the road fund though. We're talking about the common people taxes. And Liberians need to understand. Dr. Richardson is coming on. She's running late. She will be on. You guys asking for Dr. Richardson. I want to leave this with you because I have only short time on the show. If I'm not treated right tonight, I will leave.
Dr. Richardson carry on the show.
I will not sit on the show for you guys to discuss Musa Belete tonight because I don't want us to discuss Musa Belete. But for 5 years, Gibson, you didn't pay taxes? For 5 years, Mo Ali? For 5 years, how much is the amount? Councillor, how much is the amount? For 5 good years. 5 years. Arrest, Honorable Fagon, do your show. I'll be in the bag when you need me.
You'll be where?
I don't want to discuss
you
Musa
say
Belete.
we not discuss Musa, but for 5 years, you don't pay taxes. I'm coming back.
5 years.
Okay,
we cannot pay. But 5 years, the civil servant cannot get paid because Musa Belete refused to pay taxes. For 5 years.
Okay.
And the last 4, 5, 6 months, Samuel Twice say if the company, the ministry cannot come to kind of witchcraft saying he said yesterday, then we'll hold the director and minister responsible. It will no more Paku you strong. What kind of nonsense is that? And we're sitting over here asking the Liberian people to give us another 6 years. You have Musa Belete been working for George Manneh. We are president of the Republic of Liberia. Musa Belete been talking to Nathaniel McGill. Musa Belete working for Samuel Twe in 5 years. They allow him not to pay taxes. But I do not want to discuss Musa Belete tonight.
So I
It is
put the question
unfair
to
to
you.
discuss him. Yeah.
Listen, I don't care who you want to discuss. It's
Come
your
on.
prerogative.
Yeah,
It's
I
your prerogative.
don't want to discuss him
But here
tonight.
is my question to you. Who did not pay taxes for 5 years? Who? I gotta move on. Answer the question.
Wait, I will answer the question because Councilor Lamy texted me, said, please don't do that. What am I doing, Councilor? Don't text me. Don't do that, Councilor. For 5 years, you're a good councilor that represents Tewan Gonglo. Tewan Gonglo goes. No. Let me finish. You have your time.
You can drive on him as much as you want.
You are out. You are out.
Nothing to do with me. Deal with him as much as you want. What does he have to do
with me? 5 years?
Sit down in your corner. Sit down in your corner.
Let me go back to. Let me go back.
I'm going now over to.
But I don't think you should not discuss it because.
No, I'm coming to you, Gibson. Hold on.
Gibson, you listen to that man?
Gibson. No. That's my right. As a friend to Musa Bility, right? That's my right not to discuss the FIFA ban. As a friend to Musa Bility, that's my right not to discuss the road fund. As a friend to Musa Bility, that's my right not to discuss the shutting down of his company today. As a friend to Musa Bility, that's my right not to discuss the fact that he used those taxes that have been collected by his company and gave it to Samuel Twe and George Panawea. That's my right not to discuss it. You cannot tell me to discuss it, Gibson. I'm out of this show if you want to see your comment.
As a media person, it is your right to give the people the information because you do the greater good for the people rather than.
My man, that's my right not to discuss it, man.
Now the information they make every day.
Time out. You and your right. Go sit down in your right corner. Let's go over to Lamik Pagoy, Councilor Lamik Pagoy. What are your thoughts basically on what you've heard in the country? What you heard outside the country, what are your thoughts today? The Liberian people just want to see, listen to what's going on in your mind.
So the key thing is, I would just like to clarify something. I did not tell Stanton not to discuss Musa.
That man was looking for help for his best friend.
The people already started commenting that trying to support, but I mean to take all.
But you were balanced. You are smoother. You were balanced.
To take all joke aside, I don't think we should be talking about misability, but we should be talking about the government. There's a failure in governance here. That should be our focus. If you use the phrase tax evasion, it means that you say people have committed crimes against the state. You will not be publishing a piece of paper to say these are the people. You'll be dragging people before court. You'll be arraigning people before court, and you'll be prosecuting them. So let's forget about misability. Misability should not be our focus. Our focus should be the failure in our governance system, our justice system. That should be our focus. So if you come and talk about misability, not paying taxes, you're wasting everybody's time.
I just told you say that. Let me say I shouldn't discuss it, man. They might just confirm what I said.
If the government has said that misability and other people on that list are criminals, why didn't they indict them today? Have you asked yourself that question?
But let me ask you this before you continue. How does that excuse the fact that there's a highly prominent person who is already on the books for taking the road funds at the tune of 5.9 million, which was clarified and admitted to yesterday in the Senate chambers? How is it is not important to discuss the chairman of a political party wanting to give power to an individual? How is that not important?
You're missing my point. My point here is that the moral and legal responsibilities for dealing with this issue are with some people or some other people. Those people have the state power behind them. If they are failing to act, we have to demand that they act. All those people who they listed on our stuff today, they should have been appearing before court. It's not an issue of just issuing a press release or sending a list out to say these people did not pay the taxes, and then you call it tax evasion. Anybody who knows what tax evasion means know that our crime has occurred. And the government is sure that our crime has occurred. Why is Mr. Benedict still a free man?
Good question.
Yeah, why is he still a free man?
Good question. So we'll give you 30 more seconds to finish up.
Councillor, you good. That's a good point, Councillor. That's a very good point. But we'll come back. That's part 2. Let's move to Alpha Diga. Oh, I'm not the one.
No.
Go ahead.
Another thing,
30 seconds.
I don't know all the facts, but Eugene was discussing the Supreme Court holding of the contempt issue at the Supreme Court, right? You're talking about separation of powers.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. It's on the list. So let's go to Gibson.
Okay, so we'll come to it, we'll discuss it. Yeah, but the basic thing is, if somebody commits a crime,
yeah, they tell people they can talk.
Let's separate the political issue from the fact that the rule of law. Huh?
Your thought on that subject matter, Gibson. Go ahead, Gibson.
I see this in 3 dimensions. The first one is Musa Belete has shown to us that he is not the kind of person he claims he is. Anyone who tried to duck a legal process, you are not as credible as you claim you always are. So that's the first point. The second point is Musa Belete is putting forward a political candidate to become president. For the last 5 years, he has not paid taxes to the government. You can imagine if Mr. Cummings become president, Musa Belete will not pay taxes at all for 12 years if it be for 12 years. So that speaks to me that the people who are behind the political candidates, they are the ones who are messing this country up. They are the ones that mess these political candidates up. The third one is, let me raise the issue of crime. I would expect that there will be economic sabotage crime that will become against Musa Belete, because tax evasion is tying, if you read the Liberian of Finance Law, the tax evasion is in tying with economic sabotage. So I think that crime of economic sabotage should be leveled against Musa Belete to face justice, because not just not paying taxes, but he has evaded the law, he has broken the law, and he must be punished for it. And economic sabotage is a criminal offense. It's not a civil matter. So Lami is right for questioning why the government has not. So this is the kind of people we deal with, right? George Weah now is taking this action. It's a political action that he's taking. He wants to see himself as a clean government going after people who are not paying taxes. But he should have done that 4 years ago. Or he could have done that 3 years ago. But he didn't do that. They were enjoying the company of Musa Belete. How do we not even know that Musa Belete was not giving the cuts? Those are things that will come to our mind, because Musa Belete will be giving a cuts for which they will not even bother to go after him, because they expect their thousands and their millions in their pockets. So I think this whole thing is a small screen coming from the government to project Musa Belete as a bad man, which he is actually, for the tax evasion, and he should be charged. If the government does not charge him for economic sabotage, which is tied in with tax evasion, then we see that the government was condoning all of the bad things he's doing.
Thank you. Al Hussein, tax evasion is quite separate from the road fund. Yesterday, we saw that Musa Belete have not paid against the $5.9 million. That part is separate. That's not tax evasion. Tax evasion is quite different from the $5.9 million that Musa Belete owes the Liberian people, their money that he took and ran away with. So I go over to you for your thoughts. You've heard them all. What sayest thou?
Well, just to piggyback on what the Councillor Lamiel said, this speaks more to the ineptitude of this government. And for whatever reason, they chose not to look. Either they are overusing the word or misspeaking. But when I hear tax evasion, the first thing that comes to your mind is a crime has been committed.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, because tax evasion, there is some portion stipulated in our revenue code of 2000. I'm trying to grab a copy to go over it. Hopefully, somewhere in the program, I will find those information. Look, Liberia, like most country, has tax regulation, and tax evasion is simply saying that either lie on your tax, or you made inaccurate disclosure, or you failed to disclose, and those are serious offense. We have seen people going to jail in the U.S. for that. But like I said, like in Liberia, so people get something. So I don't know all the facts in this case. I saw on Chairman Bility's page that he's going to be speaking on it tonight. Hopefully, he will share some light so we'll get another side of it. But I know that if this was done by the Liberia Revenue Authority. So I do not know, but like they say, the devil is in the detail. The more detail that comes out of this, I'm sure we'll know more and to make more informed decision. But just the word tax evasion, those are serious allegations. And I'm also concerned about the CPP as well. Musa Belete is a very, very important member of the CPP, in a close confidant of Mr. Cummings. This also could have an implication on the CPP ticket as well. But like I say, I cannot make a definite statement because I do not know all the information surrounding the case. The more information that emerges, I'll be able to. But I'm still digging. I will have the Liberia Revenue Code to see what it says about tax evasion, and hopefully we'll know what that constitutes just on the surface. You know, I should put it up real soon.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll submit for that. Oh, I wanted to say one thing, but hopefully we'll go into it.
So all the one that you said, I don't want to.
I saw this video. It was something on a different topic. I saw you said what on my mind. You know, there was this a video that I saw of the CDC gather all the high school students on the Sycamore tree. That was disturbing. If this is the reason President Weah has chosen to pay WIAC or whatever they call it fee, that was despicable. A very poor, vain project that was very disturbing. Hopefully,
thank you. We're going to go there, and I'm going to go to Spoon with a Spoon, the former CEO. I want us to separate the two. We have now established a fact, and we know it is a fact. Oh, Mo Ali's just rejoined us. Fine. Tax evasion is a crime. It is your willful, either your intent or your refusal to pay taxes. So it's not like, oh, you know, you intentionally did it. Now, it's a crime. You can have up to 5 years imprisonment. The LRA knows that. You can pay huge fines. But it's different from the road fund. The road fund was money that was placed on top of each gallon of gasoline and collected. And I'm going to go to Mo Ali. Mo Ali, you've heard the conversation. The LRA went after Bility. He ran away and he posted something on his wall. I'm going to hear your thoughts.
So the first point is, for 5 years, Liberia is not a very large country where you got thousands of businesses. And so if one little company on the side is not paying tax, people will know. The first thing is, even the lay waters are market businesses, LRA, all on them every day. They own them to pay taxes. Streamers is one of the biggest petroleum importers. Streamers also has a tank farm at LPRC, where other petroleum importers store their petroleum products and they pay money to Bility. I'm very certain those importers bringing their petroleum products, they are paying taxes. But they pay money to this man, and the man is not paying tax. And for 5 years, LRA say they don't know. There are a few things. I am thinking that they have been in cahoots with Mr. Musa Bility and they have been dividing the taxes. I'm not going to absorb the LRA and the government of this. And knowing that Musa is a very close friend of Mr. Kue and Mr. Magio at the time, and Kue is a very, very close friend of Thomas Dona. In fact, Kue is the one who carries Thomas Dona to LRA. There is a connection there.
1 minute. You got one more minute.
Yeah, there is a connection there. But here's my other point. Musa has been involved into a whole lot of shitty deals in this country. And yet, Mr. Change, Mr. Alexander Change Cummings, who wants to do things the new way, is there. And Musa is the chair of the collaboration that he is the standard bearer of. And all of these things Musa doing, we're talking against corruption. Thank God that Richardson is here. At least I shouldn't say it behind her. And Mr. Cummings has not issued a single statement. I'm not even saying remove Musa as chairman because he probably doesn't have that power. But to even issue a statement, like Councillor Pago was saying, tax evasion is a crime. For them to just be issuing some kind of statement, oh, we close the maintain fund down, I bet you next tomorrow you go over there, that thing fund will be open. The reason why Musa is so brave to come and just talk about it like that casually on social media is because he has connection. And the reason why, another reason why they are giving Musa that leverage is because they are using Musa to destroy whatever stronghold the opposition has. And this is one of the things that is affecting Mr. Cummings and the thing they have a support in Musa.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome our only female panelist, Dr. Francine China Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you walk in on the conversation, and that brought us on the chairman of the CPP, of which you are a supporter with Alexander Benedict Cummings. Mm-hmm. And the chairman of the CPP was hooked on for 5.9 million road fund money. We went over that yesterday. The Senate was confirmed in front of the Senate that he still owes that amount. But today, something different apart from that happened. And that is the Liberian Revenue Authority went after Mr. Ability for a crime, tax evasion. Mm-hmm. Today, I want your thoughts on what has happened today relative to also the road funds, and then we move on from there.
Well, Mr. Fagon and fellow panelists, how are you guys doing today? Okay. Well, you probably should know me by now that I tend not to speculate on issues that I'm not fully aware of. And this is an unfolding, in my opinion, until I get all the issues and all the information together. I walked into this conversation. I've heard bits and pieces. I want to hear more before I can make any kind of definite, opinion about it.
That the road fund officer in charge, as well as the LRA team, both again admitted to the Senate that Mr. Ability owes $5.9 million of the road fund. Mr. Ability misled us here. He said he had paid through the bank and he was left with only $400,000. They both denied that and said he's still indebted. Now that is a fact. So now that you know the facts in front of the Liberian Senate, what sayest thou concerning that $5.9 million from the road fund?
Well, if it is a fact, as reported by the LRA, I didn't get to listen to the interview. I apologize because I was busy. But if you believe them, then it is what it is. There's nothing you can say or do about it. However, you know, what was it that he owes the government that much money of the road fund, or he took the road fund or whatever?
Yes, he took the road fund and he promised to pay bits and pieces. And yesterday they said he had not paid a cent.
Okay.
They confirmed that. Now, having said that, I am going to ask you one last question about your thoughts on today. You always do that for everybody. So before I continue, Dr. Richardson, whatever goes on in the world today, what are your thoughts?
You know, I just came from work, honestly. So I'm listening to everything that you guys have said. I'm processing it in my head, and I will do my own follow-up information, including, you know, I speak to Musa regularly, including speaking to him. And, you know, I did see on social media that he will be speaking tonight. That's what he posted. And maybe I'll have further thoughts about it. So, but thank you for allowing me to speak about this.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go over to his best friend, Stanton A. Witherspoon, former CEO. Stanton, you heard the thoughts of everyone here. Tax evasion is a crime. Again, the road fund was already there. He had made an arrangement with the government to pay back. He's not paid a cent. He's evaded taxes for 5 years. I'll go around the block. Do you think Mr. Cummings should come out now and repudiate him on account of these two issues? To save his political career.
Why you bringing that Cummings question to me, my man? I want to have a good night's sleep.
He's the chairman of Cummings Party.
But you know what?
Cummings claims to be Mr. Clean Hands. And the two issues with Ability, either ways, none of them has to do with clean hands. That's why I'm asking you.
Listen, and thank you very much, Minister Fagon. And thank you, Dr. Richardson. I mean, I know you are playing this safe tonight because this one for your mouth. As a friend, I'm saying it. You can come after me, that's okay. But this one, I know it's just for your mouth. You have to play it safe because we have the Shark Tank. They're going to go after you tonight. But let me answer your question, Minister Fagon.
Yeah.
The Cummings CPP factor, the President George Manawia CDC Agent 1 factor. Let's just dissect it for a minute. Let's just agree. Musa Berete from the beginning, everybody told Mr. Cummings, this guy is not a good guy, Mr. Cummings. Run. Mr. Cummings, he loves to try people. Respect to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings have not come to himself when you talk about Liberia politics. The do and don'ts of Liberia politics. And maybe Gibson, you know where I'm coming from with this. Everybody from the left, from the right, CPP, the original CPP, told Mr. Cummings, Musa Berete he's not a good individual. Run from him. Don't sit with him. Do no business with him. Mr. Cummings said, I will try him. Why? Because only Musa Berete was able to keep Mr. Cummings going. And at some point, Mr. Cummings would not just drop him. But it is true. For 5 years, Musa Berete had been in bed with CDC. For 5 years, since 2018, as per the agreement, Musa Berete remained in bed as an agent to destroy the CPP, to destroy Mr. Cummings, because what we are seeing today is not about Mr. Berete, it's about Mr. Cummings. That now you are hanging out with this guy. Are you going to cut him loose or are you going to continue the journey with him? You are hanging out with Mr. Berete. 5 years, tax evasion. What are you going to say? Will Mr. Cummings address the nation? Will Mr. Cummings call to an action, like Councillor Lamy say, this is about the government? And so we will wait for the justice to, the justice system have to work. I would agree when Mr. Cummings take that shot and say, I hear what you guys are saying, but now let's just wait for the justice system. I will protect Mr. Cummings. I will not sit there to destroy and say, no, cut Mr. Berete loose. Mr. Berete probably have something we don't know to say, these are my evidence. LRA is lying on me. As much as he's going to insult me, let's play it fair tonight. So it is proven in court, right? Let's give Mr. Berete the leeway. Listen, this is politics. It's nothing, we shouldn't play game with this. And I hope, Gibson, you come from the other side, I see you shaking your head, Mo Ali. You can say what you want to say. But maybe Mr. Ability has something, right, that he has shown to Mr. Cummings that is convincing to Mr. Cummings. And we got to give Mr. Ability the benefit of the doubt over here and say, listen, I pay my taxes. I don't know what LRA is talking about. I will display it to the nation. Or if the government said Musa Ability is lying, and I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me saying that I would go after Ability. Let's be serious. Let the government arrest Musa Ability. Let it take Musa Ability to court. And let it prove Mr. Ability that, listen, you owe the government and we will charge you. Other than that, give Mr. Ability the benefit of the doubt. I know you didn't expect this from me, but that's the system we should find ourselves. Because that's the right thing to do.
What is it?
That's the right thing to do.
Quick question before I move on. Usually when the government comes up and says something, Cummings will be the first to jump in response with a press conference or a statement. Yesterday, the government said through the LRA and the road fund that, they have not paid a cent since 5-6 years now. We haven't heard from Cummings. Today is just happening. I'll give you the benefit of that doubt. Do you expect to hear from Cummings in the next 24 hours?
Yes, I think Mr. Cummings right now is in a place. He just found his fixer too a few weeks back, right? They are running, going on every network. They want to save Charlene Bernstein. He wants to save himself. Mr. Cummings needs to speak on this.
Okay.
He needs to speak on this very soon. Go on, give me 10 seconds here. Because if he doesn't, Musa Ability, whether it's true or not, he owed the government. This is going to drag him down. This is going to pull him down so fast. Now, understand, look at what Fadiga is saying. They don't have the numbers. Mr. Cummings doesn't have the numbers for his party. So if that's true, will you get rid of Musa Ability and the leader of the Liberty Party that run with Musa Ability? Or will you keep and prevent the disaster that is about to come upon the CPP? But again, Liberians, let's be fair here. Say what you want to say about Ability. He can insult me, but I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt. We should make him to understand that, listen, you address this thing very fast. If you are pay LRA and the lie, come and tell the Liberian people, or else this is going to go bad for Mr. Cummings, and you don't want that.
Thank you.
I end.
Thank you very much. For once in my life, for once, I agree with you that we should give Cummings the next 24 hours to have a response to this seriously damning situation. For once, I probably will not happen again until after JMB is elected president. I'm going to go over to Dr. Francine, since she's just coming. Dr. Francine, you heard the support from the hijacker of all of your shows most of the time. And they're now saying, let's give Cummings the chance. For me, I said, it happened yesterday, it happened today. Do you foresee Mr. Cummings or the CPP coming up with a response?
So, I cannot speak for Mr. Cummings nor the CPP. I'm just a panelist on this show. However, it will be a prudent thing to do is to speak about the unfolding events. He can provide whatever information he knows about the event. I think that will be helpful.
We'll go over to you, Councillor Lami Pagoy.
So
I agree with Stanton, and I think I see where Dr. Francine is coming from. Let's leave the legal aspect. Let's do it political for me and you now. What are the political implications?
Even though I started off by saying that the law should take its course, but in politics also, the moral issue matters. So morally, if somebody has a political baggage, morally the person should step aside. You don't have to wait for the political leader to push the person. The person himself should step aside. I mean, back in 2005, we had a similar issue in Liberty Party, and the person stepped aside. Nobody had to push him. He himself stepped aside because he had this issue. He didn't want to weigh down the campaign with that baggage, so he had to go. So, but what we all have to do in this country, we should start protecting our own thieves. When there's when these serious things are raised about people we support, we should be able to put our big boy and big girl pants on and look the person in the eye and tell the person that this thing you did was wrong, And if it rises to the level that is very serious, to tell the person, take a step back so that you don't become the focus of the political process. That's what all of us should be doing. We shouldn't only be pressing Dr. Richardson, for example, because she belongs to a political party that has this baggage. So it's only
you're not kind again today. You're not kind again today.
Just yesterday, just yesterday, we're talking about the cool thing, and then there were all the defensive issues, and I mean, if even people begin to be they started slandering people. I mean, we have to. The greater good of this country is what matters. Now, what we should all be interested in. If somebody is using a position of influence to do something,
can I beg you, Fagon? My head is sensitive. Can I disagree with Councilor Lame?
No, hold your peace. Hold your peace.
But Councilor, I want to ask you a question. I beg you. I beg you. No. You know, moderator. Councilor. I don't think you're being fair. This thing just happened less than 24 hours. Why do you give the comments and the ability chance to address the issue? Then you're saying that people
it doesn't matter whether it's 24 hours or not. On the moral side,
I don't think you should.
I'm creating a line of dichotomy between the moral side and the legal side. From the moral standpoint, Mr. Ability should fall on his sword. That's the moral way he would deal with it. Fall on his sword, take a step back, and so that he doesn't become the focus of their campaign. From the legal standpoint, I will not hold Mr. Ability responsible. I hold Mr. Weah and the Justice Ministry, the police force, the LRA, I hold them responsible. Because if you say somebody has stolen money from the state, you have the authority of the state behind you. You have to be able to hold that person to account. And today they were not going to be issuing press release or going to the legislature to say the man hasn't paid. What they will be doing is they will be dragging him and every other person on that list to court. That's how we're going to know about it. We will not know about it.
Thank you.
Gary?
Thank you very much. And I'm going to go over to Gibson.
On his sword, the legal side, the government deal with him.
We heard that. Gibson, you heard what your colleague said.
If I were to
literally saying, let Ability fall on his sword like the Japanese samurai can do, or legally the government should drag him.
Well, if I were to take Minister Fagon's suggestion that we should deal with the political and leave the legal aspect a little bit, and if I were to be a spokesperson for the CPP, I would have said this is politically motivated. Because after 5 years, when the election is 4 months away, and you slam a man who is a major factor in the political process, a man who is backing another candidate against you, and you slam the man with this kind of tax evasion crime, then anybody, if I was still in my newsroom and I was sending my reporters out, I would be telling them to look for factors that will lead us to political motivation. Why did you wait up to this time? How come the last 5 years you didn't take this action, but election is 4 months or 5 months away, and now you are taking this action? It will be politically motivated. It will be a good argument for Cummings and the rest of the people to argue that. But if we were to do the legal part, I mean, you cannot escape your own fingerprint. What Ability did, he didn't calculate that there was a political season coming, and the government could utilize whatever wrong things that he is doing as a political tool, as a political beating stick or rattan to whip him during this period. So Ability is an excess baggage for Mr. Cummings. And I always tell people, I'll say one thing that I always said: Mr. Cummings has been swimming with dangerous sharks from the day he announced himself. These dangerous sharks have shown their teeth so white, bright, and large, but he didn't see them. They did that in the CPP. They tried to undo him. They tried to destroy him. But he is a risk taker, like the CEO, former CEO said. He's a risk taker. And sometimes when you take the risk, it turns out to be bad for you. Ability was a bad risk because everyone had known Ability to be what he is. And in fact, he was not a factor in the Liberty Party. I always tell people, Ability factor in the Liberty Party is not a big factor. People in Liberty Party is just Ability. So,
30 seconds.
Yes. So for me, me to end on this note, I think the government, if I were to speak for the CPP, the government actually did this on a political note to destroy Cummings the more, because they knew that Ability is his chairman, he is the one that supports him, and so by taking this action, with the ripple effect will affect Cummings, and I think that's the political understanding I'm getting from this. And
thank you.
Tiawan Gonglo will never allow something like that. If Tiawan Gonglo is involved,
you're not talking as an editor now. You're making Dr. Francis smile. So we will go over to Mo Ali, and Al Hussein will get his last talk, because I saw him. Al is always good at making research. So I know he's completed. Mo, what sayest thou?
You know, for me, I would take it from a slightly different angle. You know, all this thing about morality and the person should do it on his own. There are just few people in Liberia who will sit down and say, because of this, I'm resigning. They're very, very few. In more than 95% of the cases, the leaders are the ones who are supposed to press. The leaders are the ones who will press. Like, for example, when the issue of the sanction happened with the government officials, none of them thought that, okay, we have been sanctioned and accused by the most powerful country in the world. That has the tendency to bring about a dark cloud on the government. And therefore, in the interest of the Liberian people and the government, I will resign. They do. So we have to suspend them. And this is not only about this government, but even previous government. So in this case, I don't believe that Mr. Cummings really wants to be president of this country. And I will say this. From the beginning of the CPP, we are the progenitors of the first CPP. There were things that were happening. We raised issues. We gave pieces of advice. They were not taken. Had our less stupid pieces of advice that we were given been listened to by some of the political leaders, the CPP would still might have been together today. But again, my big brother Musa was in the midst. On this one, just the fact that you know, Musa is still walking and nothing is happening. One of my friends was just saying, I don't trust this thing. It could be a plan between Musa and the government. It could be a decoy. And now I just say maybe the decoy is the LRA has just stated, admitted before this the Senate that Mr. Musa has now paid $5.9 million of the road fund.
Yeah.
And so while that road fund noise is on, they got to save Musa. Musa is a very smart man. We got to save ourselves. So through the pass through the LRA, they say, you know what? Go bring all that whole issue of the tax evasion. Who told you LRA they didn't know that Musa had not been paying tax for 5 years, if it is true? They know. But because the road fund issue is fresh, it is because of this road fund. One of the major reasons why a Supreme Court justice was impeached and that road fund issue has resurfaced. They got to
30 seconds.
Public attention from the issue of the road fund and just bring something else that, okay, Musa could say today, okay, you know what, I haven't paid the tax for 5 years. What's the amount? This is it, maybe 1 million, 2 million, or 500,000. And Musa pay it. No, it's finished. The next thing you know, oh, they say the man not pay the tax, the man finish paying the tax. Road fund issue is dead. I believe it is a cook-up thing as a decoy to divert our attention from the $5.5 million, $9 million and from all of those who are owing the road fund, because even the government took 25 million from there. Because
so
we have to talk about the 25 million.
Thank you.
Said to pay salaries.
Thank you. I'm going to go over to Hassan Fadiga, and I'm going to let one of the many cats out of the bag tonight. Hassan.
You want to my knee again?
Two of y'all look the same. I didn't go to school to study twinology.
I know that was deliberate.
I didn't go to school to study twinology.
Confuse the audience. But
anyway,
let's make progress. This thing is a very delicate thing. For me, when I hear tax, honestly, I owe tax. I would say that I owe taxes. When you make certain kind of money, we would never stop owing the government. So I don't think owing tax is even as a business or as a son. The main thing that made me to cringe in this whole thing is the evasion part of it. It is a very serious crime. And I was trying to find the Liberia Revenue Code of 2000, which were revised, and I did see what it said. If you go to section 90 of the Revenue Code of Liberia, it says some. You can even go up imprisonment up to 5 years. A person willfully evading or attempt to evade tax imposed on the code, they can be subject to a fine of $200,000, imprisonment up to 5 years, or both. And when you go down all the way to 93 and 94, it says a lot about tax evasion. So these are serious crimes. But when it comes to Liberia, where I'm a little baffled and still trying to understand, how does this happen in the government that have been in power for about 5 years? Either it speaks to the incompetence of the government. I mean, there are a lot that going through my mind. Like I said, we have to listen to the other side. Another thing that comes to mind is Mr. Ability is an integral part of the CPP. If there's going to be a noose around his neck, I think it is becoming a time that he should cut that noose and focus on his race. I know it's Liberia, it doesn't mean anything. In the US, this would have been a very, very, especially tax. I've never seen any politician that survived tax issue when it comes. Even Donald Trump, he fought it for years with the best lawyers. And at the end of the day, they're working somewhere. Tax issue is the lifeline of a country. There is no way any politician can survive is not in Liberia when it comes to tax. Not that tax is something so it can be damaging based on whatever case it is. So we just heard that tax evasion. Do we know? We need to get all the information surrounding this thing, because when I got the information today, it came from a very reputable source. That I know, and we know that it's a fact. We haven't seen what the LRA have to say about this issue yet. We have to listen to see where the angle, because I see some people misusing and misapplying words. So it may not be tax evasion, but the mere fact that he's owing tax, that in itself, it's not a crime. Everybody can owe tax. Yeah. Anybody, if you run a business, you will owe tax. Business people try to do everything to pay less tax, and will do everything. But the evasion part of it, in fact, that is a felony. It's a felony in Liberia.
30 seconds.
Until we can know all the facts, but based on what we know now, if this, like I said, if this is going to be a noose around this man's neck, I think he should divorce himself from the CPP campaign, put somebody else there, and he will still function, but just in principle, move, But I don't think Cummings can do it, because Cummings himself is struggling. He needs someone ability by his side. So
I disagree with you, Fadiga.
Thank you. Before I go to Stanton A, wait a second.
You say what?
I disagree with you.
Eugene, I wanted to ask you a question it's an intellectual question.
No,
Yeah,
wait,
but-
before
but-
you bring
There were
that
several-
intellectual thing
there were
here,
several-
I beg you, Gibson, my
Before
man,
you
back.
bring that
Gibson,
intellectual
you the newcomer. Oh, you gotta wait for the people that get
It's a question
seniority.
that will fuel the process. It's a good question that will fuel the process.
but the
Well, let
process
me-
already burning.
Can
And
I
there is
can
one
I
that I have to give
can
you.
I express my disagreement with Fadika? I mean,
Before you express your disagreement, let me give you a point of information here. Serving as deputy minister for 3.5 years, I had the privilege to have been summoned to the Justice Ministry on one occasion after a press conference that I delivered. And the question came about that the electricity was off in the country all the time. There was a cutoff. And I want Liberians to listen to this. Yosef Agon can't talk. I'm challenging George Weah, challenging the Justice Minister, and all the people I will name. They said the government owed LEC 9 million. And because the government was not paying, that's why we couldn't get electricity in the country. And that money came from the Ellen Time. So President Weah said, government is continuity. We have to pay the 9 million to bring the electricity. I was summoned to the Justice Ministry. In that meeting, Musa Dean, you're right, John Davis, Archie Bernard, Musa Belete came late, but he was there. I was there, and I think 2 other persons. It was determined that an amount of almost 7 million had been paid to Musa Belete to provide fuel. I want you to listen to this. For the operation of LEC. Because when that determination was made, the LEC manager at the time, John Ashley, refused to accept it. He resigned. The new manager, Archie Bernard, if you're hearing me, and you know I was in the office that day, all of you will talk later. They went ahead still to give the money to Musa. Up to today, the meeting we went to was to get Musa to provide 80,000 gallons of fuel. 80,000. But he had not done it, and Miguel was angry, and Miguel wanted him arrested. That's why we went in our meeting. He begged and said he would provide the 80 gallons of fuel. I was in that meeting. Today, as far as I know, the millions of the fuel, nothing happened, everything kaput. So at the end of the day, I called names. I called the meeting at the Justice Ministry in Musa Dean office, and the names are called that human being, and not mosquito. They know about that. And so when I look at Musa sometimes, I just laugh. We'll go over to Stanton A. Witherspoon for his responses to the 1 or 2 individuals whom he disagree with, and then we move on.
No, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And let me say this, Fadiga, I don't think you're being fair. And I will say this to you as a brother. Listen, I'm the most hated individual Musa can ever have right now. But I would play it I would be very fair. And maybe Mo Ali would not like this. Maybe this will be our last time having Mo Ali on the show because he will get mad and you say, I'm not coming back. That's fine. But I think Musa Belete should be given the chance. Musa Belete should be given the chance because that's the right thing to do. We have a constitution. The lawmakers going to come and say their own. LRA will come and say their own. But are you telling Liberians tonight that maybe Musa Belete don't have anything with him to show that he paid taxes? And LRA is lying? And the government trying to witch hunt? I think Musa Belete should come up. Musa Belete should come up and speak to the nation. Musa Belete should be given a chance that he will address this issue. And I don't see the reason why play politics. I will ask Mr. Cummings to address it upon speaking to Musa Belete, having a very important meeting, and say, Musa, tell me the truth. Show me the document. Right, Gibson? Show me the document that you've been paying your taxes to LRA. Tell me the truth, because this is election season. 4 months to go in election. We don't want to make anyone mistake. You are the chairman of CPP. Tell us exactly what's happening. Show us the document that we can believe you. Then when that is done, if Musa Belete show to Mr. Cummings and CPP executive and say, listen, I'm free, the government is witch hunting me, then they should defend Musa Belete. They should protect Musa Belete. But if Musa Belete failed to do so, then it's okay with Mr. Cummings and say, listen, we got to cut this thing off because I am Mr. Plain Hand. But to sit on the show and say, well, it's okay that we can beat on Mr. Belete, but yet still something is telling me, something is in me right now to say, guys, as wicked as people turn Musa Belete to be, as evil as they turn him to be, I think the right thing to do as a nation, as a people, and as a political party, for Mr. Cummings to call Musa Belete and have a discussion with him and make sure Musa Belete is telling the truth. Also, there's a meeting scheduled tomorrow with LRA. We can announce that Musa Belete will be in that meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. The sources telling us there's a meeting scheduled. Upon leaving the meeting tomorrow, we will have more information. So let LRA do the thing. And I'm not saying LRA is lying, but again, from where I sit, Mr. Fagon, I believe for 5 years, now the government is coming out, something just not right to me. And I can beat Musa Belete on any other thing, but I was giving a little bit of pass on this one, that at least they investigate.
Let me ask you why you are giving the pass. It's been 5 years, as you stated, on the taxes. You were on this platform. Musa Belete admitted to the 5.9 million, but told you, Stanton, that he had paid and he was down to only 400,000. He provided you with documentations to prove his point. Then yesterday, you watched before the Senate as the LRA and the road front officer in charge said Belete had paid nothing. Forget about the taxes now. Now that you have heard from Belete and you've heard from the LRA and the road front, where are you on that matter?
And now let's just be fair with our fellow Liberian guys. On this one, I think Mr. Belete need to come there and come out clean. And Mr. Cummings now should hold Mr. Belete on this one. And Fadika, it's two separate things, Gibson. Now we're done with this tax evasion issue. Let's talk about the road fund. Samuel Twain is cookie jar 25 million for the road fund. They ate it. We know that. Let Mr. Belete come clean now to this road fund, because yesterday they said, you lied, Mr. Belete. You have not paid a dime to the road fund and you're still owing the road fund money. So on this issue, and Liberia should understand, on this one road front issue, when are we coming to a conclusion? Let Mr. Belete be very clear. On that issue, Mr. Cummings should address it with Mr. Belete.
No, I think that's
on that issue. No. Let me finish now.
The road front is the least.
No, but brother, I ain't got my time. If I go to make
hold on.
I will interrupt the guy all day long.
Go ahead.
Interrupting me. I try my best to be balanced here. You don't take me all of character tonight, because more Ali texted me and said,
can you put up that list again?
Yeah, let me put up, my man. But why you in the back? Well, the customer in the back asking you how to put on a bit.
The light shining here.
The man want to see something he's supposed to see, then he get blind. So
let's say somebody did you.
So listen, let me say this. I don't want to talk about this tax issue, but the road front issue, you are right, Fagon. I think let's give the Liberian people the information that is so deserved. The road front issue, Mr. Belete needs to come clean. Now the people say you didn't pay, you lie. You lie on this document that you sent us, Mr. Belete. He sent this document. He did. He said he paid. We got the letter saying he only 400,000. Mr. Belete did. Send it to us. We have it. But then LRA, road front issue, say no. You lied, my man. You didn't pay a dime. So now on this issue, Mr. Cummings should address it, because it's bad for the political party. Mr. Belete should come clean. Who's telling the truth? Did you pay? Yes, I paid, Mr. Belete said. Road front people say you didn't pay. Samuel Twain ate $25 million of it. Where did he take it from? So now let's have a conversation on this one, Fagon. This is the main issue now. The thing about
but that's why
the gas station, this thing about the shutdown of his company, they give it a little chance. They got a meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
We got a 24-hour
something.
Put your car in the garage. I'm gonna go over to Dr. Francine. Dr. Francine. And this time I'm gonna go in for 1 minute around the block because we got 2 other things to catch up with time. Dr. Francine, ability claim on this network that he's paid. You were here. LRA and OIC of the road fund went over in front of the Senate, say no. Now, to you, he's the chairman of the CPP. This has nothing to do with tax evasion, closing down his Shrimex. Ability say, government say, what do you think? Advise Mr. Cummings tonight in 1 minute as the political leader of the CPP owing to what has happened with the road fund. You are muted.
Yeah, you know, there's so many things going on now for me to actually say I'm advising Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is a very smart man. He's been in corporate America, corporate Liberia for a very long time. He can definitely make decisions on his own. But I would say that, you know, this event is unfolding. I like facts. I want to give it some time again for us to see. We don't know what's happening. We don't hear one side of the story. We don't know what is happening on the other side of the story. Secondly, you know, I appreciate the government now is looking for tax money. I hope that this is a new beginning for the government so that they can also go after those who they feel owe them money. That would actually help develop our country. So this is great. I'm happy that they're doing this. But on the other hand, I'm concerned that, you know, that they're looking just on admissibility. Is, you know, the question becomes, is this a witch hunt? Is this politically motivated? How do you, and then the facts, how do you prove that someone is willfully evading tax? That willfully, you got to be very careful because trying to prove someone is willfully is very interesting. You have to do an audit first. Did our LRA do an audit? Did Musa do an audit to see, you know, that he is, there's major differences in his tax payment? So there's all these things that one has to consider before coming to a judgment, before speaking. And I'm sure that Mr. Cummings, if I were advising, I would advise him to look at the big picture, look at all sides of the story before making any major kind of statement right now. You know, our government is held responsible. Like, again, the timeline, 5 years later, we are asking for somebody to pay tax. It doesn't make sense. 5 years later, we're asking for a road fund. You know, it's not adding up to me. This is why I think we should be very careful and cautious as we move forward.
Thank you. I'll go over to Mo Ali before I go to Lami and then come down to the last two. Mo Ali, you looked at the situation and 1 minute, let's stick with the road fund. This money was 30 cents on top of a gallon of gasoline that Liberian people paid with their own sweat. And then it was removed and it was supposed to be turned over to the government. You know the story, and Musa did not. That money disappeared. Now, I'm asking you, you heard Musa say he paid. Government said Musa did not pay. Where are you on this matter? Talk to the Liberian people.
You know, when I said in my second round that it's a whole cohort, I think is true. Because the government's supposed to be the custodian of all of these documents. And they will be in argument with an individual. Government say the man pay, the man pay, the man say I pay. If the man doesn't pay, there is a court system. You government, you collecting the money. You have the escrow account in which they're supposed to deposit the money. If the money is not deposited, you will know. It's not like between me and Councilor Kpagoi or me and Kerum or Gibson or me and Al Hussein to say, my man, give it. You're not giving no paper trail. So if there is no paper trail, who know who is saying? How can we determine who is saying the truth? But the reason why there will be this trading of accusation and argument between the whole government and an individual is because the cohoot was already formed for people to eat the money. It's as simple as that. The government cannot be arguing with me to say they have a system. When you pay, it's clear. Receipt will be issued to you. They say, oh, you collected 5 million. You deposited the 5 million. The bank issue you a statement. They issue you deposit slip and all those kind of things. So if they say you pay, you show it. The government will know from their financial statement or whatever it is that this person has paid. But the government say Musa not pay. Musa say I pay. What kind of that government running? It doesn't even show seriousness on the part of the whole country.
Thank you.
And all of these accusations. If somebody doesn't really pay and they're supposed to be in court, the government will not be there saying they may pay, they may not pay, they may not pay, they may say I pay. The court will be there to prove whether they may pay or not. So we are all confused on who is saying the truth.
Okay, thank you. I'm coming to my friend, Counsel. Counsel, every day you want to carry out to the legal place. I'm bringing you to the legal place now. If it is established in the court of law, as well as before the Senate, everywhere, the ability to evade taxes, that it is a certain and factually correct legally that he did not pay the 5.9 million. He's running in District 7, Nimba County, in the upcoming election to be representative. Help us connect the legal implication if this does turn out to be the worst. Again, if this turns out to be the worst, help us connect here.
Okay, so if Mr. Ability is brought before a court of law and he's convicted of the felony of tax evasion, Mr. Ability may be barred from holding public office, but that has to be it has to be part of the sentence. So because the law, I don't remember the specific section, but in a penal, I think it's the penal law, that the same law they were using against Brandon Samuka to deny him from taking over from taking his seat, and they wrongly applied the law. The law didn't say they should apply it that way. They wrongly applied it, and they got away with that wrong application. The same thing they did to Justice Janet. But with that law, if they put him before a court and the court convicts him, the judge then has to, as part of the sentencing, say you are barred from holding public office for 1 year, for 2 years, for 5 years. And if he's already, because that law has two parts. One is self-executing. The self-executing part of that law is where the person is already a public servant and the person is convicted of a felony. And as part of that sentence, the judge says you are barred from holding public office. The person automatically loses their position. So if the mayor is Minister of Finance and you convict him, or he's senator, you convict him, immediately he loses his position. That's the first part of that law. The second part of that law is the sentence has to be imposed. So the disbarment from public office has to be imposed. That could happen. So it will be left of a judge, the judge that will be presiding over Mr. Ability's case if it comes to trial. That judge will have to say, Mr. Ability, you are barred from holding public office for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years. I think it's maximum 7 years. In addition to the penal sentence that he may also receive, because they will decide that you pay or go to prison like what they did with Mr. Samukai. So those are the possible scenarios, but it will have to be as a result of the judge saying it. It's not automatic like the way they did to Samukai. If you read the statute is clear. The first part is self-executing, the second part is not.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go to Gibson and I'll come to Al Hussein. Gibson, looking at this scenario right now, we had a two-part conversation. One had to do with the road fund, the other had to do with the tax evasion. You and I will agree that we all settled that we should wait until tomorrow to hear from the parties. But in the case of the road fund, it is already established. He said he was going to pay. He's not paid for 5 years, according to the LRA, but he says he is paid. I want you to close us on this before Fadiga comes in.
First of all, I was watching Ability right now. He was live, and he still maintains that he owes only $400,000, and he also accused or alleged that there are 9 other oil companies that are owing the government. So that was the question I wanted to ask Fagon. If there are 9 other companies that are owing the government, how is Ability oil different from them? Are they going to go after them and also seize their oil tanks and put a freeze on them? Or is it Ability alone that they're going to do it to? So it brings a lot of questions. I believe the government may be in the right place to say Ability owes, because it is a bad political reflection on the government going into the election. If they lie on Ability, it's going to be a very bad reflection on them. But I'm just concerned, how is Ability own different from the rest of the other people? This is what brought me to the question that if I were acting like a CPB spokesperson, I would focus my attention on political manipulation or political motivated action. Because you can't say 9 companies are owing the government, but you freeze the oil tanks of Ability and leave the others. It doesn't make sense to me. I'll give you one example. When I used to run my newspaper, The Public Agenda, we owe the government of Liberia tax, and then they came to my office to close down my office. Well, it's a newspaper. They're usually afraid of newspaper to close them down. So we made a negotiation. Okay, how can you give me time? So the government gave me, the Ministry of Finance, Revenue Department gave us time. We pay a little bit. We're not able to pay all of it because we are operator over time. We didn't have all the taxes. And then, so the question is, has there been any negotiation between Ability and the government where the government allow him time to operate? Is it the government responsibility that Ability are not been meeting his responsibility? Has the government really lapsed on their own responsibility to go after the taxes? Or is it now that the taxes are now important to the government than before? So there are so many questions. I do believe that Ability owes. Whatever amount he owes, he owes. He should pay, especially when you are a political figure going into this kind of really tension, packed election. You should be able to take action, proactively to be able to remove yourself from this controversy. So I think that's where Ability, but the 2 crimes, tax evasion, we know is criminal. I just read, I have the Liberian Penal Code right here on my laptop, and it speaks of defraudment. It speaks of defraudment, defrauding government of needed revenue, which is economic sabotage. So there are charges that the government can level against Ability to put him beyond bars. And like Lami says, if you are convicted, if you are criminally convicted, there are some sanctions that may be imposed on you. That in the case of Samuka, Ability may not be, but he may not be able to participate in the election to run for the office.
Thank you. Al Hussein.
Yeah, I mean, just to agree with
some salient points. But there is a point right here when Gibson says it's politically motivated. I tend to agree with him, but I agree more so with Mo Ali that they're trying to create a scenario so Ability can jump. Okay, they're bringing this to the forefront as a decoy. Imagine you got 5.9 million on the road fund. Now you say they may pay taxes. Politically motivated or a decoy to kind of misdirect the attention of the Liberian people so as to correct the wrong. What says you?
Well, I don't know about the politically motivated part. That one is hard to prove. Except where you know something that I don't know that part. It may seem that way. I mean, everything is possible in Liberia. What I do know that is standing right before our eyes that is very glaring is the fact that Ability owes some money to the government. The road fund, it seems that a lot of people owe that road fund. And for me, I keep going back to why are we still having these conversations? Look, this is 2023. Why is it that the government is 25 cents? If year one they make and that way fully take the 25 cents and give it to the government, then the government take it before it comes to him. Say, my man, you got a history, and it doesn't go to inability. He said, you oil people, we don't trust you to take that 25 cents. So when you bring 20,000 gallons, we add 25 cents on all the 20,000 gallons, you pay up front. If that makes the business climate bad, so be it. These people know that they will make money either way. So what Benedict going to do? He's going to hustle for that $5 million, put it there. How he put it, get it back? No, they do that all the time in America. I mean, in America, they have tracking systems, so they don't have to go to that extreme there. But that's the thing. They will cut it short. You pay that money up front. If you know that you will get your money back, if that's not you can't afford it, don't do business. It's like the government come and say, we have certain amount of cars, certain year of cars cannot come in the country. Car is a luxury. If it says from 22,000, any car over 10 years old should not come in the country. If you can't afford it, stay away from car walk. But the bottom line here is that's still it. So we say, all right, we're not doing it because the poor people will not be having. Then we always have old car, we have accident. So you have to look at the bigger picture. There is look, the government and most of these people that are alleged to have this something, there is always, I think they are interwoven in
cahoots, man.
To defraud the Liberian people, because the reason why we have not digitized our system, the reason why almost since
40 seconds
they brought POS system in Liberia, they brought how they call that, the wire, how they call that, fiber optic in Liberia, and we still cannot use it, get over all those different it's because when we digitize the thing and take cash from the people, there will be no way to steal. I mean, this is just common sense. If the importers cannot pay the money up front, then government collect your money up front. Whatever they do there, they won't go sell it and make any profit. That won't do. But they won't do it. So I'm not ready ability on it. My 40 seconds.
I mean, next time don't ask Fadiga question about ability, man. Don't do that. We should just move on.
10 seconds. Okay, guys.
No,
if you're in this
video, give my 10 seconds back. You got 40. I just
all right, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds. So what I'm saying here is I will wait tomorrow. If it comes out that the ability did defraud the country, I think he should save the CPP and recuse himself for that, for whatever position it is. But other than that, what we are seeing here is an ineptitude of the government, and it's something that is deliberately done so that other they can put a hand in the cookie jar. I don't blame the importers. I don't think we should. I think we are just singling out ability, and that's the thing that makes this thing a little kind of weird. Because if you look on that list, there are a lot of people there, and I wish we could get all the other people there on board as well. It's just that ability is the political one, and he do a lot of talking, so probably that's what. But
thank you very much. Nelson Kola, are you there? We are in dire need of 2 videos. The first one will have to be on the road front, and the second one will have to be on the bridge that we are about to discuss, leading to Grand Bassa County, which has now become a death trap. Do you have the video on the road front cut and set?
Can I say something quickly?
Yeah, hold on, Ramo. It will help all of us to do the 1 minute and then move on.
And then we can relate it later to the road front authority.
Please give it volume.
You presented several documents here for us as records from the LRA. Yeah. Do you recognize this document? Yeah. Is it official from LRA? Yeah. Thank you. When we were doing the budget hearing, the concern of the Senate was that we're looking for money, and companies that are doing business in Liberia that are functioning, operating, cannot keep owing government without the government taking appropriate action. So this Senate passed a budget projecting arrears from the road fund. So collection of that money could be a realization of the budget projection. Non-performance or collection of that money would likely lead to shortfall. We have here from LRA taxpayers the list of petroleum institutions: Stromek, Aminata, Connect, MP, Petroleum Trade, Nexium, Calando, FPRC. I see FPRC with some asterisk. I know it's a government institution. I just wanted to know whether this document is current from LRA, if it is current.
Yes, it is a current document.
So the road fund area, as in this column, marked by in fact every company, and payment made by 2023 this month, this year.
Yeah.
I don't know which month, but this year, active.
This year, active.
That means the balance outstanding is the current outstanding balance, right?
Yeah.
For this document.
Yeah.
So my question is, from the document you gave us in the file with Connect, there is an agreement between the government of Liberia, signed by the Minister of Justice, FPRC, Connect, and other relevant authorities. This agreement is a stipulation for payment. It was entered in 2018, correct?
Yeah.
With Connect.
Yeah.
Does this agreement also apply to all other companies listed here in area? You can only see one with Connect. Do you have similar with all the other companies in arrears? Did the government of Liberia and the LRA enter into same, very agreement with all of the companies listed here? Question.
I can be clear with it because I've not seen one for the other companies you are talking about. There was a reason why I placed that there.
Okay. What's the reason?
The reason is, as you can see, the area as is.
Mm-hmm.
We after the budget hearing, all of the companies listed here were called, and emphasis from the legislature was made to them as it relates to payment, and the emphasis is given that we need this, we need the money as the old. But we wrote them, we wanted to because the first the document you see in there with the payment schedule, they are defaulted.
They are defaulted.
So it is not current now with the current reality. So we approached them that we have to go back to another agreement. We invited them we invited them company by company, and they all disagree with, nearly all of them disagree with the amount owed, with the exception of MP. MP said they don't owe, they owe zero. MP said they owe zero. Well, they supply all necessary documents to us. We invited the Road Fund so we can all sit, because some of the information they also have, they are in transition. We sent all of our documents to us that they owe zero. The figure there is as a result of exchange rate. So every exchange rate they pay us, they send it over to us. So we send it to our technical team that are working on the Road Fund to accept or reject. So we're waiting for that result. If you were to ask me from what I saw from them, it seems to be like NPO is figure because of exchange rate.
Let me ask you, I ask you if this document from LRA presented by you is correct.
It's correct.
Okay, good.
So with all of the, I want to say something. Okay. With all of the protests, we are not going through these protests because some of the protests need a road fund, and road fund is in transition. Like you see, LPRC, they are selling. LPRC is making clean the road fund or instead of she owning oil road fund. So we need road fund at the table. And at the same time, road fund is in transition.
That was just a tip of the iceberg. Massive scheme and corrupt activities. And that's why we kept the tape for last. To give you an idea of what is happening around your revenue, your country, your political system, and how they're operating, so forth and so on. Guys, we got to save some for tomorrow. But Nelson Colette, are you there? I'm asking you, do you have the clip with Billete saying he only owe $165,000 in unpaid taxes? Leave the road funds. Let's hear from Billete. So tomorrow, when we hear from the LRA, as Gibson would normally say, then we know how to balance our story. Nelson, are you there?
$165,000. That way you can bring Musa Billete away. That way you can bring MHP away. Go find somebody else to break the $165,000. I mean, you went all over. You're loud. Oh, Musa Billete, oh, 5 million. The records are there. I dare anybody to come stand in front of me. About 9 companies in Liberia were owing road fund to the tune of almost $30 million. My company was owing $4 million. And I paid all except for $400,000 and some change. The records are there. Anything you do, you go bring your man's cell phone upgrade, your partner upgrade, and your business.
Guys, 1 minute each. This man says, you let it go bring Jesus to come. I pay, I only owe $400,000 on the road fund. Taxes, I only owe $165,000. Now why you would break me for? Eh? Now why you would break me for? Me? Now, it's not about what he owes. My question to you is, on the road fund issue, you heard it, road fund. It's the Liberian people money they sweat for. Billete did not ask for it. He did not acquire it through a loan. No. He should have reported it to the consolidated fund. Instead, he took it. We're not talking about tax. Hold on. Wait. I'm moderating. I'm giving you your minute to talk. You have that minute. We're not talking about tax evasion. We heard from him. He owes $165,000. Nobody can break him. I'm not on that one. The road fund was paid by Liberians' sweat. It should have been put in their consolidated account. Instead of Mr. Billete, the custodian of that money, taking it to the road of the consolidated account and dumping it in it, he used it for himself. Which, of course, you know, the lawyer would tell us what that is. Now, he says, I have paid it all. I only owe $400,000. So what? In your closing on this one, before we go to the phone lines, please don't take me to the tax evasion. You heard it, man. Let's stay with the road fund.
I mean, we're talking plenty about. Let me talk now.
I was waiting for you because I know where you want to go. You want to say what you want to say. Beat me on that one, kill me, I will stay here. No, I want you to say it.
No, but seriously though, seriously.
He only owes $400,000. So I want you to say your mind on that.
I'm sorry, Mo Ali. I'm sorry, Fadika. I'm sorry, Fagon. Billete said he owed $165,000.
My man, don't go to the taxes.
My man, don't tell me where to go on. No, you can't do this one tonight. Billete said he owed No, you gave my time. Let me talk.
Okay,
that's why you are chasing people at the Ministry of Information to shut them down. That's the same thing you're trying to do on the show tonight. So say what you want to say, Fagon. I disagree with you. Benedict said I owe 164,000. 65,000. This guy can be in disagreement with me. But business here in the United States, we file for an extension to our tax. Listen, when you jam, you say, I will pay slow way, I will pay about this. Listen, you don't have the agreement he have with the Liberian people. Benedict may not be my friend, but as a business-minded individual, this is about the government of Liberia. It's not unability. They don't ask a question. 9 other companies. Let's go for the big shot. Benedict now declare I owe 165,000. Bring your record. And let's give Benedict the chance to bring his record. Benedict also declared on the road front, I owe 400,000. Do you know the agreement they came up to? That paid no money, paid Grumpy? No, Gibson, we all in America. Maybe Mo Ali that was soon going to come and join us. I'm sorry, Mo Ali, for announcing it. Maybe Mo Ali that will soon come in this country on a vacation. He will understand. Tax season, October 15th. For a company, they're going to drag you because it depends how many companies you have. I've done it before. You ask for an extension. You push this thing back. Even if you don't have it, you get on some form of payment plan. So let's ask Benedict. Mr. Benedict, I'm not here to defend you. What's your payment plan with the government? You say you pay. What's your receipt? Now, it's up to LRA and the Road Fund Group to come out and say, no, Benedict is lying. He have not paid a dime. Yeah, he's the last receipt. Then we have conversation, guys. I feel on the show tonight. No disrespect to any one of you. I can play the politics later on Benedict, but tonight, Pa, I would say this. He has said his own. Let the government say their own. This thing is about the government. This thing is about the man pay his tax, that which was due, and he's saying he's waiting to pay the 165. Agree or disagree? 165,000 for Benedict? Come on.
30 seconds.
Yes, thank you. 30 seconds. To me, it's a vacation money for Benedict. He can pay it tomorrow and walk, and they'll open his company. Let's talk about the issue. Let's talk what Benedict going to bring to no, you said 30 seconds. You cannot do this. No, you cannot say 30 seconds and you interrupt 30 seconds. Let's talk about if Benedict can help Mr. Cummings win an election. Let's start this part of the story that he's the most corrupt individual.
10 seconds.
But when it comes to this, yes, when it comes to this issue, the mayor have declared, I have 165,000 banners. If you want it now, I give it to you now. But what is the agreement with the government? And that's my point. I'm sticking to it tonight. He may not like me, I may not like him, but I think the government have the responsibility to be fair with the Liberian people. And they
you got 15 seconds to lay your head back and talk to the Liberian people. Who gave Benedict the Liberian people $5.9 million to chop on the road fund? Hey, I want you to have no revenue.
But you ask me a question, you want to play with me? I will leave the show if you may play with me. Because I'm not yet defending Benedict. I've been very objective tonight. They can get Benedict, the government can get Benedict $20 million, $100 million, $300. That's the damn business.
That's not my question.
My man, listen. Don't do this.
My question is,
avatar to me tonight. Don't do it.
Liberian people, it was supposed to go in the government consolidated account. Benedict hijacked it and ate it. Who gave it to him?
But you are sitting there defending Joe Weah. Tell us who gave it Benedict.
Nobody gave it to him. Anything you take that is not yours is stealing.
No. You will not move. No, Councilor, you see, these guys say, no, Councilor Lamy, I'm not calling for help, but let me be fair with the Liberian people tonight. The government, under George Manuel Weah government, gave Benedict an opportunity that he can enrich himself. Benedict saying to you, I owe 400,000. Go to Road Fund. Let the dispute Benedict. He's saying to you, I owe 165,000.
That's not my question.
My man, stop playing sabotage, man.
He took the 5.9 million that did not belong to him.
He went to the Bank of Liberia and took $5 million.
No, the money was paid for him so he can carry it there. He didn't carry it there. What is that?
My man, yeah, said, man, say I pay, I owe only 400,000. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we said he paid. But why did he take it? Is that not stealing?
Did he pay and you owe 400,000 banners?
I don't care if if
it is true on what you are saying, Mr. Gibson, let me leave Fagon alone for a minute. What Fagon is saying, why not the government go and arrest Benedict tonight?
Because they in cahoots. I'm the one moderating.
I never move from that, man. I live back.
I'm the one moderating. I'll call you outside.
No. But I'm done. I'm done. You can have your show. Tonight,
move over to Dr. Francine.
Tonight, I disagree with you, Fagon. Benedict have the chance. Benedict have the chance to address the issue. I disagree with you.
Go away at disagreement. You agreement, disagreement, I see. Dr. Francine, you listen to the video. And why they make a kind of your heart? Dr. Francine, ready to a patient with a mail? Hold there. I don't want peace. I want problem. You go in this way, carry this way. You go in this way, carry this way. But Liberians, that's what makes the show so beautiful. That's why it attracts you guys. I mean, that's why they make you this show. If for you take it, I come get my own
show. Now your show.
Dr. Francine, you listen to the Senate hearing. You listen to Musa Ability. Let's put your profession to work. I ain't about Ability. Don't talk about Ability. You have about 9 other companies. So forget about Ability. Take Ability out. From your own self, what you saw in the Senate and how you saw Ability speak, what do you think is happening?
Well, in the Senate, I saw that the person from LRA said that all companies disagree with the amount that they were told that they owe. So that led me to think that there's, some mistakes or something's going on with the documentation. Okay. So, this is why I can't make any decisions about this until we see receipts, we hear from both sides. Billy is admitting he owes. So that's a good start. Okay. He said that he paid and he owes only $400,000. So again, maybe there were issues because I think in the chambers, the guy said there were issues around the exchange rate that led NP to owe money. So I'm not saying that this could be Billy's case. I'm saying that there could be issues that contributed to him owing the $400,000 that he has, or for him taking the money that he took initially. Who knows? Okay. So until we hear both sides of the story, until we hear Billy's side of the story, until we hear LRA's side of the story, then we can make some good decisions here. But as far as I know, there's 9 companies. There's arrangements that they can make with the Justice Department. Do we know if Billy made an arrangement or not? We don't know. Do we know that there were discrepancies in the amount of money that LRA said that he owes and what he says that he owes in his own auditing department? We don't know. So there's all these different things that we need to realize before I can make any kind of final judgment.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Gibson and be very specific with him. Gibson, every day you and I, we are in the older hierarchy, age-wise. When they go in the market, look at them with a small paper, and you say, pay up 25 cents. Did you put the paper on the table? You're supposed to give it to them rather than the taxes.
Yes.
Yes. Our man is selling bitter and pepper, don't have the time to negotiate. So they just kind of market, tear the paper, put it on your table, you get it 25 cents. Go to the next table. They know how many tables in there, and you know how much you're supposed to collect. That's taxes. In this case, you hear a person talking about taxes. But more so, I want you to focus on the guy in the Senate chamber.
Yeah,
him and Taylor.
I will.
And 9 other people, they owe you. And the people are owing serious money. How do you look at Mamusu tomorrow and say, Mamusu, you got to pay a $5? But the wealthiest guys are negotiating when they can pay, how much they can pay, at what rate. Help the Liberian people understand quickly.
Right now we are talking about ability. We are arguing. We are
that's a
different logic. But if there were Mamere who owed, then we say Mamere stole money. It was going to be simple. Probably we're going to put police on Mamere, and Mamere will be at the police station trying to negotiate her release. I think Dr. Francine raised an issue that we shouldn't overlook. The guy from the RRA, I think that Senator Dillon should have gone further to Ice King when you said the people disputed some of the figure that they owe, have you reconciled those figures and show that the figures are right? That question didn't come. And the fact that he agreed that people disputed that they didn't owe a certain amount, for me, it raises a question of accountability from the LRA perspective. I want to stop right there.
Okay. Now I'm going to go to the councillor. And Councillor Lamy, take Belete out of the picture. Your perspective on the video you saw from the Senate chamber, from the committee, and the video you saw from Belete, help the Liberian people connect here from your own insight.
No, but I mean, the government is expected to have the best information. That's what will be expected, because they will know how much petroleum products are brought into the market, and they know how much petroleum products are sold. So the taxes or the withholding that the businesses should be doing, it will be that information will be with the government. It should be easily gotten by the government. But I want to also point out something here. There's a difference between an individual and a corporation, right? So are these monies owed by the corporations or the individuals?
Because, the corporations.
Yeah, but if you pierce the corporate veil, if you go behind the corporation, it's very possible that someone decided that this money I should be withholding it, because the corporation is now a human being. Even though it's a legal person, it's not a human being. It won't take the money physically and use it. So it even becomes a more serious crime if people in these corporations decided that we take these monies and convert it to our own use. I think the investigation got to go one step further. We need to get to that point to see whether we can separate the corporations, and it will be good for Standard to put that listing back up there, to separate the corporations from the individuals behind each of these. Because not trying to defend Mr. Belete at all, right? If you see each of those companies that are listed on that list, they got people behind them also.
Powerful people. Powerful people.
Yeah, he's perhaps the most visible person of all those people. Some of those people are playing low profile and they're providing support to different political groupings. We have to get to a point where we stop the bleeding of our country. We have to stop the bleeding of our country. It doesn't matter who. The law should be blind. If you go to the Temple of Justice, they have the statue of Lady Justice there. The reason why she has a blindfold is because she's not supposed to see the person she's judging. But in Liberia, we got to bust Lady Justice's eye because that blindfold looking at not working. Got to take something and bust her eye. Yeah, we need to do that. She has a sword and she has a skill that is on the level. All those things have symbols. The skill on the level means that she will be fair, and the sword means that she will strike wherever it goes. We have to have that kind of attitude towards everything in the country. So when it comes to taxes, Fadiga talked about it. When it comes to taxes, many countries on this earth do not take it seriously when people take taxpayers' money and just do as they please. Many countries on this earth, they will not take it lightly. We ourselves have to make sure we don't take it lightly also. Everybody, every month, when I look at my pay slip, every month, I wonder why am I working? Because the government takes all the money from me. What's the benefit? So if the government can take all that money from me, why should other people take? I mean, even if it's $400,000, Mr. Belete is saying, even if it's $400,000, will I be allowed to keep $400,000?
You probably will not be living in the country 30 seconds more.
I won't be allowed to keep $400,000, so they should allow my office to not pay my social security, my income taxes, and give all to me. Then I can say, okay, we negotiating for me to pay them too. I should have the right to do that. If they allow all these businesses that are their friends to do it, then it should be free for all. We should all be allowed to keep our taxes and not pay it. But again, Eugene, let me just close on this. We have to make bad behavior our enemy. It doesn't matter which political party we're in. Whether you are LPP, you are UP, you are CC, you are CPP or ANC, bad behavior should be our enemy because it affects us all in negative ways. My own rogue should not be your enemy, and your own rogue should not be my enemy. My rogue should be your enemy and my enemy. Your own rogue should be my enemy and your enemy. If we have that free distribution to these things, most of these things will go away. And under a Gongolo administration, I can assure you, there will be no friends. We don't have no corporate friends. We have zero corporate friends. Let me tell you the truth. Zero. So you got to pay your taxes.
Thank you very much. If I'm not coming to allow you to say this, we're going to get in trouble. So I just let you say it to you. Now, Mo Ali, you touched my heart today because you spoke my mind. That when you said, Belete is in cahoots with the government. For me, the evidence is right in front of the eyes of everyone. Because why? Lamin said they can just take a tax and well, they don't even allow him to see it. But someone is negotiating when they will pay, talking about. So for that, I'll go over to you. After you, Fadiga, and we'll go into the phone lines. Nelson Colette, please prepare for us. Mo, your final 1 minute on this thing. Having looked at the clip from the Senate room and listen to Belete, give us an insight.
You know, I still stand by the fact that there is some form of collusion here. And I listened to that guy from the LRA. He said, in fact, LPRC said that Rofon owes them. I don't know if it didn't catch anybody's attention.
Yeah, it did.
Are the Rofon creditor for LPRC? I don't know. I'm confused. I got extremely confused. Rofon owed them. Instead of LPRC owing Rofon owed them. The Rofon, well, when they sell gas, when they sell fuel oil, they sell gas and fuel oil. A certain amount supposed to leave from there and go into the Rofon account or consolidated account.
The consolidated account, yes.
Yeah, LPRC say Rofon owe us.
Could they have overpaid?
But the people ain't even paying the Rofon. How would they even overpay?
I'm not sure if they're not paying. That's not what I heard. I heard them say that the Rofon owe them, but I didn't hear them saying that they're not paying the
No, that was in the case of LPRC.
LPRC.
In the case of LPRC contended that the road fund owes them instead of them.
But that's what I'm talking about. Who do you think I'm talking about?
Yeah, but you said could it be possible that LPRC.
But I'm more at speaking though. We gotta. And I'm more at speaking. Dr. Richardson wants to change the
I said it's possibility.
Dr. Richardson wants to change the conversation.
Is it possible that maybe they miscalculated the 25 cents or whatever, overpaid or whatever?
Dr. Francine wants to shake your base.
No, I asked a question. Being open-minded,
in that case, well, we need to find out. But I'm just a little bit confused.
That's good. We need to find out. That's the answer.
And the other point here is for the for the LRA, and that should have done all of the background search with all of the institutions that's supposed to receive money from these people with documents and present a document to the Senate or present a document to the businesses that they say they owe. So that when the business is arguing that Jerome said, Jerome should have asked that question, they will be able to say in a succinct manner, here are the documents, you owe this. But for them to be arguing with the business, say you owe, I don't owe, you owe, I don't owe, it tells you that the entire government has got no record keeping system.
Yeah.
No record keeping system because there should be coordination amongst and between the government entities. LRA is responsible to collect taxes. If you're supposed to, if you are paying the taxes through this entity, if that's how it is, LRA should be in some form of coordination with them so they will know exactly how much you pay from the bank, and that record will go strictly to LRA. They will be able to reconcile their records so that when they come into you, they say, Dr. Richardson, you owe this. They will provide all of the documentations, and you will not have the ground to say, oh, I pay, and LRA say you pay. The whole thing is just confusing, extremely confusing. LPRC say
30 seconds.
You owe it all. LRA say they order stream as Connex. Aminata, you owe us. They say no, we not owe you that amount. The other people say we owe you. LRA say, but our exchange rate. The whole thing are just confusing. No wonder why Civil 7 can't take it on time here.
Thank you. Thank you. Al Hussein, before we go to the phone lines, I don't know if somebody can put out the final list that day. You can see the handwriting on it. Shrimex that now is in question mark. And Connex, maybe somebody needs to ask President Salif who owns Connex. It won't be my mouth to chew that pepper. And Petro Trade is 590. Yep. I want you to take a keen look at this. Fadiga and others. After the talk that day, this is what the senators wrote. Please, can you put it back up? If you see question mark there, that means it's in contention. If you don't see question mark there, that means the people accepted that, yes, we owe this amount. The total there is $20,202,739.66. Can you imagine?
Connex. Who owns Connex?
Connex owe almost 7 million.
Yeah, who owns that company?
And we are talking about them.
I will not use my mouth to chew anybody pepper.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Who owns the company? Don't be
a cool question. I'm not answering it to now. Going by my business.
But you keep that. Listen, guys, they understand thing. Now you put the thing back up. Let's see it. Who took it down?
Connex owe almost 7 million.
Who owns that company? Who owns that company more?
I'm not calling nobody near passing by my business. Y'all go out your way.
LPRC owe almost 6 million too.
You guys are not helping. I beg if I go, let me take 10 seconds here. It is very important, and that's a good question Councilor Lamy is asking. So I hope when you guys come back tomorrow, we can discuss these companies over here: Shrimex, Aminata and Son, Connex, NP Petro Trade, Nexium, Calando, LPRC, and we shouldn't only just put this on Musability. Again, I'm a different with him when it comes to the politics or other issue, but look at the amount: 20 million United States dollars. Can they defend themselves? Can they say who they pay to?
7 million.
And 7 million almost from Connex. The question that Lamy is asking, who Connex? Let's dig deeper. Let's share that with the audience for us to understand where the Liberian people money going. We beat on Musability, let's beat on everybody. Why the government now trying to say, Musa, you are wrong? And you know he wasn't paying like you claim. The man said, I pay. My own 2 cents, yeah. Thank God for Senator DeLong. Thank God for Yombly. Thank God for the rest of them. But I hope, to be fair to DeLong, not only about the Liberty Party problem, let it go to everybody. Let it put all these people in. Let them reveal the document for us to have a fair conversation. That will help the discussion. And we shouldn't only limit it to Musa Hassanability. I rest my case, guys, and y'all have a good
day. Is it possible for us to bring the leadership of LRA to come and answer to some of the inconsistencies in their session?
That definitely would be done. But let's talk about the one we own. LPRC is for us. LPRC looking at almost 6 million. They say we not own. In fact, I owe us. I don't even make argument.
Exactly.
I'm talking to you, Al Hussein.
That's my point.
Al Hussein, close us before we go to the full echo.
You guys have me curious to see Connex. I tell you,
we the government people.
But
The government say LPRC owe them.
Connect, no, you see that? Look,
the other company owe us.
My man, there's something here. Let me ask someone a question. In that question, there, the answer. Connect came to Liberia 2020. Based on just a temporary thing I just hit. So if Connect just came to Liberia 2020, they owe 20 million, you know who is behind Connect.
Now 20 million, 7 million almost.
7 million. No.
They say for one Sheriff Abdallah.
And they the one took over this company.
Total.
No, Total.
Y'all need us to with
and they in Sierra Leone too. Well, because of time, I won't want to go into it. I'll just take my own time to there and review it. But man, but Dylan says something. He had a paper in his hand, and I had a copy of that paper. I think I got that copy from Musa a couple of weeks ago, where he showed the agreement he had with something. I was surprised that Dylan kept showing this thing. Say, all right, you have an agreement with this Musa Ability company, Cenex, but is this the only copy? And the LRA guy brought only one copy. So in my thing, Musa Ability have an agreement with these guys.
No, it was Connex. It was Connex they had the agreement with.
It was Connex. Yeah.
Was it Connex or
Connex? I heard
Connex had agreement to pay back.
To pay back.
So the paper you had
yeah.
Yeah, it was. I did not listen to it. So the paper that you had in here, it was Connex, right?
The Connex said they don't even owe that much, but they had an agreement to pay small.
All right, it sounded like Cenex, but I don't know what
maybe that carry over from Total. Because if you buy the company, you buy the liabilities also. So probably that.
No, maybe it's not. It's not, Councillor. The information we're getting is not.
Yeah, the information
things like that.
Let's move on. We gotta go to the phone lines.
Let me finish with this point. I wanted to get that clarification because there was noise in the background. So, all right, whatever the case is, there's more to this story than we're just saying today, because I think there is more to this story. And if we dig deeper, I just have to stumble upon a story and then we start getting input in it. Then
can I do my closing and let me go? I beg you, Fadika.
No, wait, you will hang on to them, man. Why are you going?
No, that man going nowhere. You say going, not going nowhere.
No. I gotta go. I gotta go. Let me say my. You see, I'm in the office. Fadika, I beg you, my Fadika, I beg you, you're my second call in the night. Let me do my closing.
Okay, take 2 minutes and disappear. Don't come back.
Yeah, I will not come back. Beg you, gentlemen. Dr. Rich is saying. Dr. Rich is saying, all the good people on the show, those are watching us, man. This is the game of the government. You can ask Sheriff on Connect, the LPRC, the Musa Ability, the Kalando. Come on, guys. With a good government, none of this thing going to happen. You want to individualize this thing. You know, Ability and myself go back and forth every day. But this one, it is with the government of Liberia. A very, very bad product that was sold to us by Eugene Fagon. A very, very bad product. I would beat on my own friend today. I don't know what making my friend. Are you guys going to attack Musa Ability?
I hope you know I'm your last friend.
No, you're not my last friend. My wife and my children, they are my friend first and last. I don't care. But your very, very bad product that you defended, that you sold to us, we should not talk about them. You think under a good government, this thing going to happen, Gibson? Come on, man. Under a good government, there will be check and balance. Under a good government, Musa Ability will not have to reach 5. And what are these grades? They even blaming him after 5 years. What happened on year 1, 2018? What happened on year 2, 2019? Why are you going now to blame bad legislators, members? Very bad. Thank God for Delon them. But I want Delon to take that partisan hat out and be fair across the board. For people not to look at Delon and say, oh, it's because of Musa Ability or you scratching your vein. I think they're not doing the right thing. But this is about the government, failure in leadership. This is about President George Manneh Weah that will settle all these guys and say, you just gave my court. This is about Samuel Tuah that can walk in the road for money and forget about the system that brought about real fund and just take money from there anyhow. Once he take 25 million, he get President Weah, they all settle. These are the things we need to talk about. Beat on Musa Belete, beat on Kalando, beat on them, beat on Mr. Sherry. But it is the government establishment. I know you will say blame them, but they're trying to pay and they will pay. The message I pay. I owe 400 on road fund. I owe 165,000 on my taxes. I'm going to pay. But let's just understand this for the sake of our Liberian people. Hate us or love us. This government must go. This thing about this government is smoke screen right now. Give them another 6 years. Instead of 9 companies, it will be 100 companies. Because you know why? From President George Manneh Weah to Samuel Tuah and the rest of them, they are getting the back door cut. And that's why they allow these things to happen. It must stop. We need a new form of leadership. We need a new form of government. That's the only way this thing will stop. Go up, you come down, blame Musa Belete, blame Kalando. These guys are business people, man. It should start with the government and it should end with the government. The government owning herself. You think the government will pay through LPRC? Hell no. They will take that money and use it. They won't pay. They don't even have money. Samuel Tuah calling people around begging for money. Samuel Tuah went to his ministry. Let me give you guys the last story. And he got angry. And he got angry. Why you didn't do this? We missed the opportunity to get money. Samuel Tuah admitted yesterday that the government has no money to pay 7-7. And we are wasting our time going to election. No money on the market. President Weah put in a request, he can't get money. Samuel Tuah squeezing the IMF, squeezing the World Bank, squeezing his European partner. The post restriction that you have never seen before. Guys, this is serious. The government offices empty, no money. 7-7 not getting paid. Let's talk about this issue. This should be about the government. Thank you very much, Honorable Eugene Lame Fagon, my last friend on earth. And I want to say, Councillor Bakwa, thank you for bringing in Gibson. I hope you don't bring in more than what we have right now. You and Gibson enough. Mo Ali, thank you very much. I heard that you're coming to the state. I can give that breaking news. You are welcome. Al Hassan, thank you. And Dr. Richardson, you have a good night, folks. A wonderful program. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. We got a very announcement tomorrow we'd like to make real quick. I beg you if I go. I think Senator James Manneh is coming on. He's coming on to Friday. He will be our guest. There's another program taking place tomorrow. The Spoon team will cover it and the guys will be on the show. George Solo is coming on Saturday. I just want to give this announcement for my friend and brother. His daughter graduation program will be held. What's the information? Hey, my man, right? They didn't put it out. Diamond, his brother. This is the information. They want us to read it from the Howard family, Melvin Howard. This is his daughter, Avina. For the great achievement, they are celebrating her goodness. They are celebrating her. Say, CEO, please, 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 their family, the Howard family, invite your president and the Spoon family and everyone to a grand celebration for Miss Avina Tennessee Howard, as she graduated from the wards of Classical High School with a summa cum laude on Monday, June 12th, 2023. And also for her admission into the Society of Summa Cum Laude in these United States. Celebration date is June 24th, 2023, 70 Jefferson Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 202908, 5 p.m. They are celebrating this young Liberian. She's the best in the family. And we must give this announcement. We must encourage her and we must see her through to college. I want to say to my brother Melvin Howard, to your job well done. And we appreciate and we're happy to announce this. Have a good evening from my end. And we celebrate the young Avina. Guys, have a good night.
Well, thank you. I get to have the last word. My good friend said I sold bad product, but he was hanging out with the bad products to the hotel and eating salad, paying for them. You are enjoying yourself. Hey, don't come out here. Go. You know if I can answer you. You are in the hotel, about post some of your picture there, eating salad, riding BB car. You say that bad product. Anyway, guys, I think we Fadiga was talking. Fadiga, you want to finish? Colette, we'll just go to the phone lines for 5 minutes. And then everybody will
just go to the phone line. Just go to the phone line. So
Colette, are you there?
Yes. So the number to call is 0777-771075 or 0555-101075. So we take the first caller. Hello, you're live.
Yeah. Good morning to the other.
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Thank you. My name is Michael Williamson. I join you from Queensway tonight. CEO, a former CEO. I think you play smart to leave the show tonight. Because it seems to be like you're afraid of ability now, so you're trying to play safe because you don't want ability to come on the podcast to bob off you.
How are you?
So now you're trying to stay.
Okay, thank you. That's what you there. Hello, you live.
Yeah, this is Paul Forman. I'm calling from PSA.
Go ahead, Paul.
I live with the panelists concerning the reform concerning tax invasion. Let me tell you something. Musa Hassan Bedere is a possible friend of John Manawia, as El Snow is. Believe me, between now and the end of the week, that's when it's going to change.
Okay, thank you.
And that is going to come at this case.
Thank you very much. Hello, you live.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Tito P. I'm calling you from Queensland.
Tito, that's you.
Yeah, I heard you discussing about road fund, and that has to do with ability. Let me tell you for free. Ability, we're not the government not getting anything from Mugabe, but for the fact that he's dealing with this conference. So the only thing we can do now as citizens of this country is to vote the government. And one of the things I want to ask, they're going to tell you, it's not part of the discussion tonight. They're going to tell you, or Councilor Dela was on the show, and then due to the network issue, he was in the West State, and then he said he was going to come back on Friday to discuss a meeting with the former president. So we've been, waiting to hear from you, but then say they are not being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Good evening. Okay. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Oh, thank you. And thank you very much. And say thanks to the panelists for their brilliant discussion. Cross-examination of discussions. For the recognitions and Poker Robert. And I join you from a comfortable resident on the capital.
Go ahead quickly, Poker.
But what happened is, what bad for me is, for the panelists, particularly Mr. Waterspoon. I'm disappointed when he left the land. Because I really want to substantiate where he said, or where he cautioned his setting, or to accept. The road form you're talking about, saying that President, we are did and did that. This road form, it was not even or under the administration that Musa Pelete.
Thank you. That's what you did. Just wrap up quickly, Poker, so we take other people on the line.
Hello?
Just lend your thought quickly.
It was not even under the administration that Musa Pelete was spearheading the powers of the road form. No, it was the administration. And I wanted to Waterspoon along with Facon to get to step on.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take another person.
They also have share in that money.
Hello, you're just coming on. Hello.
Yeah.
Now you on. You all of what you said was off the radio. So tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Like I said, I'm Cabinet Estovana, and I joined the conversation this night from Clarendon.
Okay, go ahead.
Of TYM. And my goal is to make Mr. Weah a one-time Boca Denso come October 10, 2023.
Go ahead, make your point quickly.
Okay, to the issue, like I was saying, right? Mr. Weah, one of the mistakes we make in the country was to make Mr. Weah a president of this nation. There's a man who plays football. He has all of the title in the game. He has a lot of money, but this man damaged all of the resources, right? This man damaged all of the resources. He left with empty hands. We come and awarded him with the presidency. Okay. So there's the reward that he is giving up to this. But we are telling Mr. Weah, down in only has few days to become president of this nation. By October 10, 2023, or the 11th, Mr. Weah will become an ex-president. Because this is just looting our country. Look at the country under Mr. Weah. The period now is just looking at a country that fighting war. There is no understanding. You're working, no money. You're doing business, no money. The comment damage under the man, then it's doing a kind of thing.
Thank you.
Come October 10, 2023, this man will be a one-time book.
Thank you very much. Hello, you live. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Tony F. Williams, and I join you from 2nd Street.
Go ahead, Williams. Go ahead.
And also want to extend my greeting to as many people following the broadcast here.
Yes, you have 30 seconds, Williams. Just go ahead.
Okay. No, I want to say the issue I have to Musa Belete. I mean, everybody in this country knows that Musa Belete, in this kind of things that have to do with corruption, is always integrated in it. And I just want to say this quick. That's the reason why Musa Belete is fighting his way through the legislature, so that he can continue to strangle the Liberian people to that corrupt cabinet building. With no some of those people in the cabinet building that have and that fight for the Liberian people. Or Mera Musa Belete, I think she should be giving an inch around state power in this country. It will be very, very disastrous for us in this country. These are the people that want to enter that building to push some of the bad law against the Liberian people.
Thank you very much. Let's do it.
3 more calls.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You live.
Yeah. Good evening. I want to say good evening to Honorable Falcon, Honorable Stanton, and all of the panelists on the show tonight. I'm John A.F. Kenyo. I'm coming from Painesville. I'm the president for the Federation of Motorcycles and Tricycle Unions of Liberia. Well, it is frustrating to hear that people are owing government such a huge sum of money when our teachers are crying for pay, when civil servants are complaining for pay. Let me just, for 1 minute, say that the government is not yet ready. And it is so disappointing. All right? I would say to you clearly that there are people in government that are in cahoots with some of those people that came on this earth. I gave you the story. The Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Unions of Liberia has been crying over and over to pay taxes. You know, once upon a time we went to transfer ministry, and the Deputy Minister for Land and Rail said because we refuse to pledge support to the government, they cannot accept our taxes. And then people are owing the Liberian people money. They are owing the road for money. They cannot pay it, and people are joking with it.
Thank you.
It is frustrating, and I hope I can get a time on the platform for me to speak on some of those issues.
Definitely, as president of the Motorcycle Union, can you get his number, please? Because it's the largest. Those guys are over, I don't know how many thousand. They have us 25,000. And so they are stakeholders. If you can get his number, please.
So, Ken, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line.
Okay, so just remain on the line. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so can you take this number? Hello?
Yeah.
0880 398-703.
398-703.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so let's take this person. You said 2 more calls, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. You live.
Yeah, it's not about calling from Congo Tambaru.
Go ahead quickly, Jabba.
Yeah, you see how the people see our money in the country, the people getting back in the country. And one more thing, we want to tell the world, take money here to the bar. The people get our money, they are to churches. They owe all we are 18 staff. They imagine I'm very young and got with the people. I get older, they pay me. That one made me and left. So I appealing to the bank to plead up for me to figure out money.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Please listen to me. Yeah,
you said the council of churches, right?
It's very hurting me. So I want for Mr. West to give it to inside and call it a council of churches. They pay our money.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We take the final caller now. Hello. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, let me say thank you. Let me say thank you to Minister Facon. I'm M. Dominic Fan Jr. for me from Cowan in Georgia. Let me be honest. The Liberian people tired with the government. We will bear patient until October 10th. That's all. We employ this government. We are like employer, and we're gonna finalize our contract October 10th. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. So it's back to you, Mr.
Thank you, and thank you to the people in Radio Land, television, online platforms, and what have you. It's been a pleasure to serve you tonight with some of my esteemed panelists, like Dr. Francine Chinua Richardson, my friend, Councillor Laming Pagoy, the legendary Al Hussein Y. Fadiga, along with your cherished personality, Mo Ali, and that of the veteran journalist, Gibson W. Jeru, now a supporter and heading the global network of media relations for the Gonglo team. Having said that, I will start, ladies first, with Dr. Francine to give us 1 minute of her final thoughts for tonight's program. If she likes, she can take 2 minutes.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say just 1 minute. So the way how I like to look at information is looking at the facts that we know and also the unknowns, because I tend not to subscribe to conspiracy theory. I don't do that. The fact here is that Musa does owe the government. He mentioned that $165,000 and I think $400,000. We know that that's the fact. What we don't know is that how much the oil companies owe Liberian government, all of them, as we saw during the the communication in chambers, that the records were not adding up. Some people were arguing we owe this, and some people were arguing that we didn't owe this money. We also know that what is on new is who has an agreement with the Justice Department. We don't know. We only heard of one agreement, and that came through Connex. It's possible that other companies may have agreements. So those are the unknowns. And then, I want to argue and say that this is similar to the case we're discussing yesterday. This is all under good governance. Yesterday, we knew the fact that Kuhn built a hospital. He has a hospital in Lima County. What is unknown for us, and we're trying to figure out here, was the hospital ever transferred to the government of Liberia, as we are hearing, okay? And that is another unknown. What we know is the hospital was receiving money in the government's budget. So what all of this means to me is that, we need to get up to the place of good governance in our country. When we have good governance, perhaps these things will be clearly spelled out to us. We won't have a lot of unknowns for us to be guessing, all right? Because right now we're doing a lot of speculation simply because of our government way of disseminating information to us. It leaves some kind of vacuum, where we just speculate. And that is not really good for a government. I want to just ask Liberians, October 10th is major consequential elections. There are major consequential elections for you. You have to vote first. You have to vote for good governance. And I definitely believe that Mr. Alexander Cummings and Councillor Bronsky will be the team that you need to carry to begin the pathway of good governance. I'm not going to tell anybody and say, October 11th, Liberia will be full of gold and diamond, the streets will be clear and everything. But it will put us on the pathway to not having this vacuum in our government. We've got to sit down, or people go to chambers and say, well, we're not sure how much this person owe, or how much this person do not owe. Or maybe we'll begin to have maybe an electronic system where it'll be easy to understand how much a company owes how much tax a company owes our country. So that's it.
Thank you. We move over to Councillor Laming Pagoy to help us with his closing.
Yeah, so the issue of transparency and accountability are key to moving this country forward. And as we've been saying consistently on this platform, the medicine man to solve that problem, to solve our problems of transparency and accountability in this country and good governance, is the one and only Councillor Tiawan Gongolo. The Liberian people must take their own destinies in their hands come October 10 by going to the polls and electing the best person that is out there. We have to make sure that regardless of whether the person is our friend or not, when the person steps out of bound, we should all condemn that person equally. We should not say that person is on our side now, so we talk in a favor. Like you see, when the political pendulum swings, all the other people jump behind that person and start defending the same person they used to be calling for harsh measures against. All of a sudden, the person becomes an injured. We have to stop that. We have to get away from the sycophancy that has characterized the political space in this country, because we've gotten to know that sycophants do not help the society; they actually destroy it. Tomorrow we'll have Mr. Anderson Milman on this platform. Yesterday, there was some accusations made against him that he was involved in a political hatchet job against the running mate, the vice tenant bearer of the Unity Party. Mr. Milman will be here tomorrow to explain the Central report and himself. So I hope the members of the public will turn up, will tune in, and I hope my brother Mohammed will be available also to speak to Mr. Milman, because he made some real serious claims against Mr. Milman. So let's listen to what went into the report, the kind of analysis that went into the report, why they reported the way they reported, and like I've seen, Central does this thing to all the different sectors. They don't look at one person. They've done several reports. They've challenged several lawmakers. They challenged several government officials for doing things that they thought were beyond the pale. So it wasn't just targeting one person. So tomorrow, Mr. Milman will be here to explain himself and also to explain the work. It will be good for the public to understand these things. Let us forget partisanship. When it comes to Liberia, as Councillor Gongolo can say, we should treat it like a public corporation. Every one of us have one share, and we should jealously guard that share. When it comes to Liberia, if somebody does wrong, we should condemn that person. We shouldn't say,
next time you want to talk about Congo team first, so when you want to talk about Congo, so
we shouldn't say, Thomas, big winner, Thomas, way small. We should not say because the man is our own rogue, we protect him. When another person on a rogue, we condemn him. That's the textbook definition of hypocrisy. I'm very sure that we all do not like to be classified as hypocrites. So let's
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll go over to Al Hussein Wa Fadiga.
Well, I just put in the doc. I just put a page up in the some documents in the room there. I hope we have time to put it up. That is just the agreement for the transfer of the Jeremiah Coons Hospital to the Ministry of Health. So that's the official document.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Thank you for that.
So I have it in there.
How do we get access to it? How do we get access to it?
I can send it to you.
Oh yeah, everybody see you.
No, what everybody don't see it because
that thing that tomorrow we are closing. The people got to go home at 7:02.
All right, wait.
Tomorrow. Let me deal with it sufficiently for lying.
You have 30 seconds, Fadiga.
Well, man, we start talking.
Now, why you want to start the trouble? I tell you, go on.
All right, I'll do that trouble. Well,
no, you got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Look at it. Well, what I want to say tonight, and I'm going to close with is a lot of things going on in the country. That's why we need this rescue team to rescue that country. Honestly, if you look at bad governance, one of the things I was having a conversation, and this stuff came to mind. So I said, people always accuse the ambassador of being dormant for 12 years. And one thing keep coming to mind, and I wish somebody said it, and just struck a light bulb in my head. one of the greatest president in, like, I think there's a general consensus that one of the greatest president in Liberia history was William Todbert. But if we know, little is known about Todbert. For the 19 years he served as vice president under Tubman. But as soon as he was given that opportunity, history, if it can serve us right, Todbert, up to now, you can say whatever you say, it has been undisputed that he's one of the greatest presidents of our time. It shows what being the vice president can do if you serve even in the shadow, that you get the opportunity to see things from a perspective that a lot of people do not see. If you look in this race, the most experienced, the most knowledgeable, the man with the longest term in anything capacity, serving in, not only have he served in different ministries, not only have he served as the second highest position in the country, but this man has been around in food security that we're talking about, served in the agricultural ministry. So when we look in this election, it is clear the option. I'll tell you that the option is there's nothing to even talk. What is the broom, the sweeper? Yeah, you have to go. What is the sweeper or the one that wants Steve to be there? There is no competition yet. Honestly, there is no way that anybody can even attempt to deny Ambassador Boyka of this presidency, because if that he is I call him the true transitional president, the man that can safely deliver Liberia to our generation, and there's nobody else that can do it like him. So I just thought I would say that if we look at
you very much,
the Todbert of our generation.
Thank you very much, Gibson David. Thank you very much. Councillor Gonglo usually say that two things he fight for: his conscience and his country. Today, I'd like to call on Mr. Cummings to look at his conscience and see what he does with the news about ability. Because this thing has a way of having a ripple effect on his political campaign. People will say he aligned with criminal, he aligned with crooks, he aligned with whatever people who are evading taxes. Therefore, if he becomes president, Mr. Ability will use his administration to defraud the government of taxes. All of these things. For me, if I were serving, if I were with Mr. Cummings, I would ask him to pressure Ability to provide the relevant documents that he has paid money, because that will help the public to allay the allegations, to make sure that the government was not telling the truth. As it is right now, everybody is confused whether the government is even telling the truth, because LRA is not even sure how much these people owe. They should come up with a definitive number and say these people owe the abilities action, call into question, call into repetition question. So I want Mr. Cummings to look at that. In this country, I hear people all the time when I talk to them, Gibson, Mr. Councillor Gonglo is the best man. He's the good person. He is a nice person. He's credible. He's clean. But let's take this person. That is a wrong trajectory that people always take. If the person is credible, if the person is clean, if the person is qualified, is competent, then you leave for somebody who is unable to make decisions of his own, someone who will sit and other people be making decisions around him, people who are surrounded by people who are political failures. This is something that we need to be very careful with. Let's look at people like Councillor Gonglo as a true representation of good leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo Ali.
I'm coming right back to the rule phone thing, and just say something about it. From my investigation, there was an agreement between 2016 to 2018 that all of the importers of petroleum products will pay the road fund through streamers. The importers agreed, the government agreed, and so they started paying. In 2018, the amount accumulated to around 20 million. The government got ready and asked streamers to pay. Streamers ran to the Supreme Court and said that that money was not taxed. And the court granted a stay order on the amount. Like I said last night, that was one of the key reasons why the Associate Justice Daniel was impeached. And so streamers owned by Musa Belete is the key culprit here. Now that these guys, because the court said they granted stay order, the government has to renegotiate with all of the other people, the Aminata and Sons, the Connex, all the other names over there, to begin to repay. These guys have got extremely hard problem with streamers. They are going to be double paying. That's why they are even arguing whether they owe or not. That one, that corruption. And we saw what the very people did here to Brownie Samuka, who contested and won an election. They took him to court. The stripping of his right to take the seat to represent the people of Lofa County. Now, why I said the people are in cahoot with Musa is because we're talking about 20 million. Brandon Samuka watching now around 1.5 million. They want here, they're not going to court. There's no prosecution. That's the road for then tax evasion come there. Nothing. And so the whole LRA will stay there and act confused because there is a coalition between Musa, between Mr. Weah, between Mr. Samuel Twe and Mr. Thomas Doe, who is the protege now of Samuel Twe at LRA. A whole coalition there. They are conniving. In the world, like people will say kidnapping, they are all kidnappers. I don't know who remember that way you see the word connive. They are all kidnapping to eat the Liberian people money. That's what they are doing. Yes, somebody call and say the well will council of churches for all that loan, they eat that money, they can't pay. The motorbike guy call and say they go pay their taxes. They say they must declare support, or else they will not hold it. And you know why they say they will not hold it? Because when they accept their taxes, they come back in the street, they will ban them. They will pack their motorbikes. That's the reason. Under normal circumstances, I'll say, okay, don't take my tax, I will go. You know, it's left with you. But they say we're not taking it. So when the guys get in the street, they ban them. These are corruption that we're talking about. And you know, everybody talking about they are killing it. For me, in the opposition, I believe that Joseph Boakai sits on top. But anybody in the opposition of the three top opposition candidates, anyone is better, way better than Mr. Weah. The fact there is that Mr. Weah must go. He must leave. Tomorrow, I will support any of the candidates over President Weah, even in my sleep. But we have to make the case for JMB, because at this point in time, like you just said, the experience counts. The testing for somebody to be declared as not corrupt. Look, other people see it as a dancer. We see it as an upside. Now he works in the government, he works in public sector, he worked in private sector for more than 40 years with no stain of corruption. We believe that even Gibson Giroux, will one day all galvanize around Ambassador Boakai to kick out we are. Thank you, Eugene.
Thank you very much, and thank you for my two. So you see, next time when I'm here moderating, only three of y'all will talk two times before the other will wait and talk. But anyway, I'd like to wish, in my closing, Terry Genesis, happy birthday to you, my brother. You're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you, and happy birthday again to Terry Genesis. For Musa Belete, in my closing, whether it be the airport saga, 1, or the Nima Land fiasco, 2, or the FIFA ban, 3, or the road fund, 4, or tax evasion, 5, my parents can always say, must it be you all the time? Must it? And then when my father ready to beat you, my late father would say, everybody cannot lie on you. At least one person will get it right. So turn around. And then sometimes I say, it's possible everybody will get it wrong. Turn around. Everybody don't have the same brain to lie on you. I'll tell Musa Belete what I will have to tell him tonight. It shall be well in 2024. But I want to speak directly to the Liberian people tonight who's listening to me. A man will serve as vice president for 12 years. And yet and still, the one who was confident that if I die today in a plane crash or from a heart attack, my friend, you will be sworn into office and you will run the affairs of this country. I have confidence in you for 12 years. Why don't that person want this man to be president? Today, my fellow panelists that sit here with me know that Joe Biden, President of the United States, is 2 years older than Joe Boakai. They all on the panel know that. And he said he's still running to be president of the United States. A couple of days ago, Joe Biden, after handing his certificate, fell flat to the ground. And he woke up and he laughed. And he said, I was sandbagged. Yet my friends that are on the panel with me will vote for Joe Biden, who is 2 years older than Joe Boakai. My fellow Liberians, I submit to you tonight that if you never believe me now. Now I know the reason why they don't want the old man to be president. They don't want the old man to be president. In my belief, in my thinking, not Joe Boakai, not anybody. It's because we'll begin to find out why they waive 14 million for Western Cluster. And the Gola people, Vai people, and the people from Bapolu, Pele, Loma, and what have you, did not even get 100,000. You will get to find out why over 250 million was used by the Western Cluster and nobody got kink. Yet still, our iron ores are going. But of the 100%, 49% was given to Western Cluster. We don't know who owned the 51%. Here we are tonight, under my alley, $20 million. Musa Belete was there. My friend was serving on the board. Charlene is serving on the board. Wesner was the National Investment Commission chairman. Finlay was also there. All these people today come behind one candidate. George Weah said that he owned people. Over and over, we know everything. But I submit to you tonight, if you don't know the reason why they don't want JMB to be president, then you really surprise me. tonight, you know the reason why they don't want him to be president. But I want to say thank you to the Youth Liberian people. You often vote before election day, and you often sing your song. Yo, at the paper we won, even if he fall out, at the paper we carry. Even if he said out, at the paper we won, even if he can't talk, at the paper we won, there is a reason why you are singing that song. Because you want to know why they don't want him to be president. Your monies will be collected, your resources will be protected, and those who have swindled the systems will be brought to book. And yes, when you hear the old man say, we had several opportunities and we squandered it, you now know why from tonight. I respectfully submit. Thank you to Dr. Chinoweth Richardson. Thank you to Dr. Mr. Gibson Jeru. And thank you to Mo Ali. We'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be around.
Good
Thank
job.
you, Brother Nelson Colette.
Thank you.
Nice t-shirt. And you know, Gibson, your new friend, Anna, Dr. Francine, you help her to now she laughing.
All right, folks, we'd like to say thank you very much for following the program tonight, Spoon Talk. Thanks for making your contributions in the comment section. Thanks for following, remaining glued to your radio and making your contribution. Whether you've been listening by Fabric 101.1 FM, Spoon 107.5 FM, or Super 95.5 FM. Want to say thank you tonight for making a contribution to the program. My name is Nelson Colette. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow, same time, for another edition of the program Spoon Talk. Until then, have for yourselves a good day. Bye-bye.
A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television.